Well, welcome back to Lords for the final instalment of this Inter-Services 2020 cricket here at the home of cricket. You are listening to the Royal Air Force Band here, entertaining the crowds as they have been through all the innings breaks we have here. And of course, before the final game, they are due to play tunes, some good tunes like Jerusalem will be coming. Just a reminder of where we are in the tournament. The UK Armed Forces women were up against the MCC this morning and they won that match by 21 runs. We've just seen a brilliant game by the Royal Air Force where they've beaten the Army by 33 runs. Now that makes it interesting because the RAF of course lost to the Royal Navy on Tuesday in Arundel, and now we see the Army-Navy game. Now all the Navy men will need to do is win that game, but the maths will have to come involved if the Army secure a win against the Navy. So again, it's all to play for here at the T20 at Lords, but for now I'm just going to leave you with the music as we enjoy this at the home of cricket.
If you stick up national emblem. Then we will reform on the trombones and then we'll head over to our new position. Band to the right, ball, out!
Army v Navy is a fixture right across the military sporting calendar that holds huge significance. And today, what a final game of this festival of cricket we have in store at Lord's, the home of cricket, which has seen a couple of fantastic games so far today. UCAF women beating MCC by 21 runs before the Royal Air Force avenged their defeat to the Navy on Tuesday with a 33-run defeat of the Army today. So the Royal Navy in a very strong position and a good claim to the title. What can they do against the British Army here? Of course, they've had the opportunity to watch what happened in Game 2 of the competition, which we've just seen between the Army and the Air Force. Captain Marine Finlay Marks, speaking to me the other day, said a couple of the boys haven't played here before at Lord's. Obviously some nerves around, but he thought that would be a good thing. And of course the excitement that'll help to pick up those energy levels as well. Well, they've won the toss and elected to bat the Royal Navy. And Adam Gilchrist, in the sunshine, an evening at Lord's. Early season it may be, but I tell you what, summer is here, and what a way to celebrate.
There are definitely some runs in the pitch. Adam Fisher showed that, and from ball one as well, he was striking it not far off 300 at one stage. It slowed slightly to only about 170 odd, but it was a cracking innings. But also not unlike Finlay Marks' innings the other day, 80 something off 40 odd balls. It's that sort of a pitch, that sort of an occasion. If the Army can find somebody to do that, then maybe, but of course it is the Navy going first. So they will be looking to do what they did on Tuesday and do what the RAF have just done to the Army.
We saw the importance of the Navy's dismissal early on of Tom Shorthouse on Tuesday, the RAF and UCAF star. Got a 50 earlier on, Tom Shorthouse. They'll realise the importance of doing the same again to the Army batters when they come to go about their chase. But first up, you mentioned, of course, the wonderful 83. Ben Johnson will be hoping for a repeat of that. Finlay Marks as well. You note how important a captain he is, and a fairly softly spoken, I think it's fair to say. A very, very smart guy, thinks about the game very well. And he'll have been working very hard over the last couple of days, chatting to his troops and just saying, here we are, opportunity to watch what the Army did against the RAF, and what an opportunity this is. And the sunshine at Lord's to lift the trophy at the end of the day.
You never quite know, do you, when you're coming in third on this occasion and you haven't played yet today. The occasion, sometimes the crowd, perhaps a smaller crowd today because of the tube strike doesn't help. But are you coming in cold? Are you up for it? Have you seen what's happened before? It's a tricky one to gauge, really, because to some extent you want to get cracking and get involved. But then for the Army, that slightly backfired because they were well beaten in the end. They slid away a little bit, didn't they, during their innings? What about the Navy? Can they post something that will be sizable and therefore puts the opposition under pressure? That's what they'll be hoping for.
And what can the Army do in the field, Adam? We saw that there was a bit of sloppiness, I think, earlier on, it was fair to say. They weren't quite as sharp as they might otherwise have liked to be. The RAF showing them up in terms of their fielding performance.
Yeah, 3 dropped catches at least, maybe 1 also misjudged, so you could argue maybe 4 missed catches, which might have cost them a few runs, because one of them was Adam Fisher at one stage. I think he'd passed 50, but still, he ended up with 88, didn't he, in the end? But at the end, actually, the Army began to put in some good catches, some good run-outs, and sort of sharpened up a little bit. So if they can continue on from that, taking to the field now, I guess that'll stand them in good stead. But fielding, is all important. Catches win matches, we know that.
Well, it looks as if it's going to be Stavan Gabriel to open the bowling for the Army, as he did in their match with the RAF earlier this afternoon. The St. Lucian, plenty of exuberance and confidence. A great character in that team, as Jay Boynton, former skipper, was telling us earlier. And he'll be looking to try and get a bit of away shape, you'd suspect, of course, with that short boundary towards the grandstand on the leg side. And how will the wicket play? I mean, this is fascinating to see through the day. I mean, that UCAF game, and as we were talking to Amanda Potgieter as well on air, we thought that the ball wasn't quite coming on as they may have liked. But with that sun on it, perhaps through the day, getting a little easier to bat on.
That's true. And temperatures have warmed a bit as well since the 10 a.m. start earlier on with the MCC versus UCAF women's match. So you would think it wouldn't make any difference. You wouldn't think there'd be any wear and tear, just that maybe conditions have dried it out a little bit. So yeah, you would think you could get cracking and get timing, but I don't know if maybe the Army batters found it much more difficult to time than the RAF, and so therefore maybe that is about form.
Well, Ben Hood and Dave Richards are the umpires for this fixture. Third umpire Christian Nicholson, scorers Linda Judd and Sarah Cray, match referee M.J. Seward. So we cannot wait for this game to get underway, just seconds away. Stavan Gabriel runs in past the umpire. Getting that away movement, beating the bat on this occasion.
Yeah, and I think the other key was, I thought, bowling full. It did seem to me that the 2 successful sides today absolutely got into the swing of it, literally, and bowling full at the feet and not offering the short ball, because the short ball is just waiting to be hit into the grandstand.
Especially with any pace on it, you feel. Gabriel in again and punched through to that sweeper on the offside. Sam Hewitt underway. Ben Johnson, former skipper, alongside him today. Wonderful 83 from 47 balls in Arundel on Tuesday. Can he follow that up with something special here? The Navy clearly wanting to have a carbon copy of that result if they can, as you alluded to earlier, Adam. And certainly with a short boundary, they'll be fully aware that it's not easy to defend necessarily where the wicket is in the square.
And the field now has to move around as well. This is the classic left-hand, right-hand opening partnership as well, which always puts a captain on his mettle in the field. Oh, right, we've got to move around, we've got to move there. And keep in mind the shorter boundary as well the whole time. This time the shorter boundary, of course, is on the offside to a left-hander.
Johnson on strike. Gabriel runs in. Coming in and going aerial is Johnson. It's going to be taken. It is going to be taken. What a fantastic catch. A massive wicket at the start of this game. My word.
Comfortably done, wasn't it? It was. I mean, I would say straight to him, but it was hit with some power. So not the easiest of catches.
Not the easiest of catches at all, but I think we stay where we were for the moment. Gabriel looks to go back in. Coming in from third man.
There must have been something amiss with that because nobody's walked off. Could it have been a no ball?
And check him at the scorers.
Not a wicket. Did we miss the bump ball? It was a very high, hard bump ball.
That would be one heck of a bump ball, Adam, I think.
Just checking this score.
Getting that in drift as well. Bit of swing and just beating the keeper for a single.
Given as a no ball it was, so a well taken catch, but the umpire did have his arm up.
Umpire had his arm up, and the glint of the sunlight the evening here at Lord's. The umpire had his arm up, so what might have been wasn't quite.
Well, we were about to sing the praises of the catch, if anything we already were, and should have spotted the umpire doing his thing.
Potentially a very late commentator's curse. Punched out to extra cover, and no run there. Another dot ball for Stavan Gabriel. And great to have alongside us again Richard Isaacs. Welcome back to the commentary box. You've been a busy man with the scoring today as well, and all the stats that you compile for everyone around the ground, it seems.
Yes, apologies I'm a little bit late on parade. I was working out some net run rate calculations, as you would expect of a statistician.
Oh my word, in advance, or as it stands?
Indeed, I've sent the tables to the scoreboard operators, and hopefully they put them up. But basically, I do have them on my system here. Ballpark figures. But if the Navy score 150, the Army would need to score 151 and chase it down in 14.2 overs to go ahead of net run rate.
Quite the task ahead of them then in terms of run rate.
The lower obviously they keep it down, the better the options. Obviously if they bowled up to 120 it'd be a lot easier, but I went with 150 as a fairly ballpark figure.
So are we saying if the Army win this handsomely, it could be theirs? If they only just win it, it could be the RAF's? But if the Navy win, obviously it's 2 out of 2.
Yes, correct.
Right.
Thank you, Richard. Great to get the wider picture and the context. A bit hard at work with the calculations.
The RAF net run rate currently stands. Sorry, the RAF net run rate is currently 0.45. The Navy's before this game was 0.75, and the Army is minus 1.65. So that is how it will twist around and turn around in the second innings of this game. But obviously, as soon as I know. We are going to try and get them on the scoreboard. Not that you can see the scoreboard from here, obviously, but we're going to try and get them on the scoreboard if we can. That is my next job after I'm finished here.
Excellent. We look forward to seeing that on the big screen. Well, as Marine Finlay Marks will have been telling his men, the luxury the Royal Navy have going into today is that they just needed to essentially beat the Army, and they were in a very good position on Tuesday after beating the Royal Air Force. Ben Johnson remains after that no-ball catch. An important wicket that would be for the Army. Just passing the inside edge on that occasion.
Outside off and a bit of a dangle, one of those. But I think you're entitled to a dangle in the second over.
Bit of fishing.
Yeah, why not? 8 without loss. The Navy score so far. Looks like the breeze has shifted round a little bit. I don't know if that'll make any difference at all, but it looks like it's more coming over the pavilion slightly. Before it was very much left to right as we look at the pavilion.
We had Amanda Potgieter in with us, Richards, earlier on, and spoke to her about the stats. Some of your many stats, of course, that you've been compiling over the years. How aware, over the years when you've been speaking to players, just how aware are they of some of these stats and the records that they're about to break? You know, the other day, a lovely shot to the boundary, flicked off his legs by Ben Johnson, pushing that Navy score up to 12 without loss. But, you know, Adam Fisher becoming the first man to cross the 500-run threshold in T20 history. How aware are these players of those stats? After you mentioned that, I mean, how much do they mean to some of these athletes?
For some, it means the world. For many, they couldn't give a
word you're not going to use.
Yes, they couldn't care less.
Yes.
You know, you can give a stat to a player, and they can say, "Oh, that's nice," and you can give a stat to a player and say, "Yeah, I knew that was coming up."
Another fish from Johnson. No real danger there, you suspect, though. Well, it's interesting. It's almost, I wonder if has it become a sort of a dirty word, stats or records for some players. There's maybe a trend, I don't know if you feel this recently, for players to come out in the civilian sense as well as the military sense and say, oh, I'm batting for the team, I'm bowling for the team, I don't care about my records or my stats. As Johnson flays that away and rolling out towards the boundary row, but makes it as well, so another boundary to his account. But it's almost as if, it seems, players don't want to say, oh, I was aware of that record, or it's great, it's motivating me, it's a motivating factor, because they're so wary of someone saying, oh, you're not playing for the team. Is that something you think has crept into conscience?
A little, yes. I think in certainly in the modern game, it's because of the more in-depth nature of statistics nowadays. It's not just the fact that you are averaging 50, but are you averaging 50 and striking at 140 in the power play or 150 in the power play,
or in a winning cause?
Exactly. You know, you could, you know, good old Jonathan Trott used to take it in the neck, you know, or you're not scoring quick enough, you know, but now England are scoring quick enough and they're still losing test matches. So, you know, you've got to get a balance of what is right for the team and what's not so much right for the team. You can't just go gung-ho like England do quite a lot of the time, but you've also got to have a certain amount of nous. So where it comes into statistics, you have to almost factor in many other points of you know, I know you can't necessarily do it. Was it a cloudy day on a green pitch, or was it a sunny day on a brown pitch, or whatever it was? You can't necessarily cut it down that far down the line, but you have to sort of go with a general figures where, you know, where what is this player giving to the team? Players love their own stats, don't get me wrong, but they've also got to play for the team as well.
Sometimes players are overly aware of their stats if they come off a run of ducks, for instance, or
they can't hide sometimes.
As a holder of a record of 6 ducks in a row, I'm very, very aware of that. Thank you very much.
No, it's always good to have your ducks in a row, I think.
Oh, brilliant. He's here all week. And maybe a chance quite close there for a run out. 19 for no loss into the third over, the Royal Navy electing to bat after winning the toss.
I was an opening batter, by the way. 6 ducks in a row is not so good for an opening batter.
You see, when you add context...
Yeah, but you see, that it's always harder for the opening batter, isn't it? Absolutely. Yeah, no.
Unbelievably.
Those are all green wickets. Those are all cloudy days, Duke's ball swinging everywhere.
And the fast bowler's fresh and all that, yeah.
Yes, coach, that's exactly what it was.
Ooh, dug that one out, Hewitt.
It was full and on the toes, but, yeah, as you say, dug it out, no run.
The Army have changed it up here with 2 seamers opening the bowling instead of Benson. They've pretty much throughout the whole of the warm-up games, they've gone with Benson to open the bowling. But in this game, they've gone with Gabriel and George.
And probably under instructions, full off stump from this end, and perhaps full middle and leg the other end.
It's down leg, 2 straight and signalled wide.
Not there, then.
Don't think it counts as a curse, does it?
It's only 1 on the total, it's okay.
So you say. If it's a 1-run victory, then... It's leg side-ish again, and it's called wide once more.
Yeah, he needs to adjust. Just as we were saying, exactly the right place to bowl. He's exactly the wrong place to bowl, but there we are. That's the tightness of the ground, you know, with the the short boundary. He's probably well aware of it and perhaps just slightly overdoing it.
It's a little short on length and quite wide, but no damage to the Army.
Mistimed, really, as it went out to mid-off.
That leg side boundary is very, very inviting, isn't it?
Isn't it?
It's almost a little too inviting, especially with that sort of shot you just tried to play there. You just tried to swing to the leg side and hope for the best, and it was just no timing. So you can't keep on thinking, oh, that's an easy 4 over there or an easy 6 over there.
Very full, punched back past the bowler. Mid-on gathers, come through for the single.
But a little bit of a shock for the Army to lose again to the RAF, 3 in a row in inter-services matches for the first time since 5 in a row in 1991 to 1995. So a little bit of a shocker for the Army again.
If they're looking at Army-Navy results, of course, they'll be buoyed by the history. Was it 11 wins in 12 matches?
It is indeed, yes. But then the RAF had a very similar record to against the Navy on Tuesday, and that blew up in their face as well. So, yes, there are stats, damn stats, and isn't it?
Damn lies, damn yeah.
Yes,
Which way around
lies,
is it? Yeah.
damn lies and statistics.
That's right. There we go. We got there in the end.
And also,
Indeed.
as all captains and coaches would say, we weren't playing 11 years ago, so it's okay. Well, maybe the odd player was, but otherwise, different teams.
Well struck, but well fielded inside the 30-yard circle, preventing a sure boundary and towards the edge of the grandstand. But 3 overs complete, 27 for no loss. Sam Hewitt on 4 and Ben Johnston 17 not out.
They look a different side this year, the Navy. They've got 1 or 2 players that have come in and 1 or 2 players that have returned as well. So they do actually look a better and stronger side than they have done for a number of years, really. Was super impressed with the young lad Noam McLennan, who made his debut on Tuesday and scored 30 and took 3 wickets. He looks a real prospect. Kentish lad, I believe. Who's now playing for Havant, I think, in the Southern League, I believe.
Yeah, it's a real luxury for a captain when debutants come in and perform immediately.
How about the lower order? Should it get to that? Because obviously it was the top order that did the damage on Tuesday.
You just never know with lower orders, do you? They can just come in and swing and hope and maybe score a few. So obviously not seen the Navy play this year, but from looking at their results, it does look like it's the top order or bust a little bit. But again, 1 player on their day, you just never know.
I guess if you're getting 150 out of your top 4 or 5, you're not too worried about who's coming in at number 8, 9, 10, are you really?
Well, the more runs the Navy get, the obviously the better opportunity they've got of winning the game. That's just a given, obviously. But it's going to be even harder for the Army to chase it down in such a small, a moderately small target range.
I guess that would be a statistic that they would be aware of when it's time to bat. They'll have to have that in their heads, won't they? Whatever.
I have been told to tell the teams.
Right.
Tough life for bowlers, isn't it? Having to go out numbers 10 and 11 and try and knock off the final piece of a total. Being under scrutiny for it as well. So that ball just passes by the inside edge.
But it shouldn't be left to number 10 and 11 to do that. That's what the top order batters are there for.
That's why it's so harsh that they sometimes come under a bit of scrutiny for perhaps falling 5 runs short in a chase.
I've done my job, lads. Well, you do yours.
Well, it's just gone through to the keeper there. I think beat the inside edge once more of Sam Hewitt. I take it those days you mentioned doing your job, Richard, didn't involve the 6 ducks when you were opening the batting.
I was one of those players who always kept their own stats, and I knew where I was at and how bad my batting average was. There is actually a funny story involving Lords, actually. I phoned my dad one day when I scored 50, and it was like mid-August, and he said, "Oh, well done, son." He said, "That's pretty good for middle of August." I said, "No, that's 50 runs today, Dad. It's not 50 runs for the season."
Dads, eh?
Brilliant.
He got a little bit of a telling off from his opposite number, a chap called Harry Sharp, who was scoring for Middlesex, who was a former Middlesex player. So we should give him more encouragement. He said, "He knows I'm only joking."
Sam Hewitt looking to innovate there, trying to ramp, but rather finding the toe end of his bat, and they come through for the single.
31 without loss after 4 overs, the Royal Navy, in what is the final match of the Inter-Services T20. I remember batting at school once, and it was a 35 over game. I know it's a bit odd. And the scorer was sort of an amateur, if you like. He was just one of us. And I was in the entire 35 overs, and I was hitting it okay. I wasn't, and the scorer didn't mark my own individual score, just the total. So I still to this day would have no idea. I could have been 20, I could have been 90. It felt like I was about halfway between the two, but I will never know.
Ross Dearden coming into the attack, and thankfully for him, the scorers are marking every single delivery. But you have to give us a ballpark estimate of what it was, Adam.
Well, if I ever write my memoir, of course it'll be an unbeaten 100.
Yes, nearly chopping on there, Sam Hewitt. Dearden just pushing that up near the block hole. Experienced campaigner Ross Dearden. Tricky customer to get away.
They're rattling along at a decent rate here, 31 for 0 off 4, but Hewitt seems to be stuck. He's got 5 off about 13 or so.
Trying again, and that's gone straight through, up towards the pavilion and over the boundary rope for 4.
There's the commentator's blessing.
Just looking as if he's scratching it a little bit, not quite timing it, not really getting the connection he wants. Losing a bit of shape perhaps there as well.
Maybe a little bit, yes. He looks like he's sort of trying to sort of fish for it a little bit. He's sort of dragging himself across a little too far.
Pulling wide to him again is Dearden. Oh, and that's gone through the legs, allowing the second run.
Ben Johnston, by the way, 20 off 14, so he has begun very well. It's a good rate to set. But can Sam Hewitt catch up? Does it matter at this stage? No, though. It's not pressure if your partner's doing okay, is there? And tried to hoik it to the leg side and skewed away to, I guess, the gully region.
Dearden just looking to exert some control here for the Army.
I think Hewitt has been the one of the two batters who's been rather lured a little too much by the short boundary. Just seems to want to swing across the line all the time.
I did think in the first match, the Army playing the RAF, that the Army attempted to defend the short boundary and bowl to it, which I thought was a bit of a mistake. 6 players were ringing on the short boundary side, and lo and behold, the RAF batters just slapped it either between them or over them. And if it went over them, it was 6.
39 for no loss, the Royal Navy after 5 overs. Ben Johnston on 21. Sam Hewitt on 8.
Which means there's 10 extras already in 5 overs.
The extra count has been relatively high today. 34 in the UCAF VMCC game for the UCAF innings.
And most of them in 2 overs, weren't they, as well?
Seems so.
My heart went out to the 2 bowlers who were... I put the scorecard into the database earlier on, and I thought, oh man, there's a lot of no balls in there, and they were all either double bouncers or ones that pitched off the pitch.
Yeah, missing the cut strip on a few occasions. You just you dearly hope that the bowlers aren't getting the yips and just unable to get it down there. Of course, I guess the problem comes when you start just placing it as opposed to going through your action.
There's also a little bit of Lord's factor in that. You know, you're playing here at Lord's. If you're not used to it, the slope does get you. Many an international cricketer has come here and blown up badly, sort of with the slope, being sort of thinking, I've got this, and then it sort of pitches on the slope and goes. But so yes, it is a challenge sometimes here at Lords with regards to the slope, especially if you haven't played here before. It's also the fact that it's Lords.
Yeah, everyone wants to impress. You often see touring teams playing well and beating England in tests over the years many times, picking up their game for the home of cricket.
That is undoubtedly true, because it is Lords. It is the historical venue, the home of cricket, and all of that stuff that comes with it. And players come here and just think, wow, this is amazing. I'm playing at Lords. I said my club, Camel Sports, played twice in the National Village Cup here, and the boys never stopped talking about it. What a incredible honour and privilege it was to play on this ground.
Oh, and bowled off the inside edge. Sam Hewitt's relatively stricken time comes to an end. Just wasn't timing it, wasn't quite getting on top of the bowlers, trying to be proactive and coming unstuck with the death rattle of the stumps.
Army really needed that. They needed to at least make a breakthrough, but obviously they would have preferred it to have been Johnston. But Hewitt was really struggling there. Really was struggling for his timing, and quite some elaborate celebration there from Shevin George. Really on the dance floor there. He's looking forward to his night out tonight in London.
Trying to impress in many ways on his debut.
Absolutely, the dance floor of Lords. And George just came in, just big wide again, just trying to stretch himself out a little bit. Hewitt, he's been doing that throughout his innings, and this time inside edge and onto the stumps, and Hewitt's gone for 10. And in comes the impressive Noah McLennan, who is he really did impress me at Arundel on Tuesday, and got scored 30 and took 3 wickets. So the Army need to see the back of him fairly quickly too.
The ball at George is over and squirted away only as far as Stavon Gabriel, the edge of the 30-yard circle. And at the end of the 6th over, Royal Navy are 42 for 1. Time now to hand over to Mr. John Nyson, joining Richard Isaacs.
Thank you very much indeed, Simon. And well, Richard, it's a pretty good start for the Navy in the power play, isn't it? They've reached 41, only 1 wicket down, and that was a fantastic delivery from George, wasn't it, to see off Hewitt?
I think he'd been seeing what Hewitt had been doing. He had been reaching out to try and slap everything through the offside, was just getting no timing whatsoever. And this, on that occasion, he inside edged it onto his stumps. So it was a bit of a painful innings from the opener, and the Army finally got a reward.
You did see him look a bit frustrated at the end, I must admit, but the breakthrough that the Army desperately needed came in that 6th over, and well, the Navy know, of course, that a victory today would give them the title, and they've not won that many of them, have they, over the years? Compared with the Army and the RAF.
Well, no, indeed. 2024 was their last success here at Lords. They won the first match of that tournament, and then obviously won actually lost the 4th one, or the 3rd game, but managed to get over the line on net run rate. But it's like I said, this is a massively improved Navy side by the looks of things. They impressed on Tuesday. And they're impressing again today.
Did Bowles. That's a lovely shot that's come through, which will be recovered by the Army by Denzel James. But a Another run to add to the total, 44 for 1 now, and Johnson looking good again. Ben Johnson, of course, top scoring down at Arundel just a couple of days ago, and he looking well set already for a big innings here. He's going to be vital if the Navy are going to pull this one off today. The Army just seemed a bit flat. I don't know whether you agree with that, Richard, in the game against the RF. It looked a bit flat with batting and bowling today.
I completely agree with that. I thought they looked very. I don't know what it was. I can't quite put my finger on it.
So we had Jonathan Boynton joining us on commentary right at the beginning of the RAF innings, and I just sensed with him as well there was that sort of feeling of they're making mistakes that maybe, you know, they haven't said, are they missing him? I mean, crikey, he's a sort of player that any team's going to miss.
I definitely think they're missing him. I think he is the glue that kept the side together. He's been around for a very long time.
Well, Dearden again comes in, and Johnson square cuts that one away for 4. That's a lovely shot there from Johnson to take him up to 28, and the Navy reaching 50 now after 7 overs. That was a beautiful shot there. Was it? Cut away.
Absolutely outstanding shot from Johnson. He is in sublime form at the moment. He scored runs in the warm-up games that the Navy had, and he looks in ripe form after with 83 on Tuesday and 28 not out at the moment. He's going to be the key for this Navy side.
The end of the 7th over, Royal Navy reach 50 for 1. Just the loss of that 1 wicket. Hewitt going bowled by George for 10 on the score of 42 then, but McLennan has he's just working his way into this game for the Navy. Noah McLennan, again himself, no mean feat with the bats, as we saw, I think, down at Arundel, or you saw down at Arundel on Tuesday. But it's now Narayan comes in, and again that's beautifully shot right down the ground by Johnson, fielded by George, and back to wicket keeper Sam Blackburn.
We look at the Army side, and they are still a strong side, but you just look without Boynton and without Wiseman, 2 massive talismanic players
for so many years. Actually, these players, sometimes you don't miss them until they're gone, but because they're just the fabric of the team, aren't they? And for so many years we've watched Jay Boynton and as you say, that really key players come in, and they can't be around forever, but I'm sure there are players out there who are going to take the mantle up at some stage, but maybe we're not seeing them today. Johnson again gets that one away, and it's brought back by the Army. Another run goes onto the board, 52 for 1. Johnson moves on to 29. McLennan working his way in, 3 not out at the moment. Again, Narayan bowls, and another single to add to the total.
Yeah, there are a number of players around the Army ranks in the development sides and just off the squad list who are knocking on the door and knocking hard as well, which is very good to see from an Army point of view. But at the moment, it's the familiar faces like Spice Narayan and Ross Dearden who are maintaining their places, and I think they may be under pressure soon. Narayan
again with a delivery, and Johnson hammers at it, but just gets the air this time. Outside the off stump there. 55 for 1. Johnson on 30. McLennan now facing, and they'll take another single. Power play, of course, is over, and important captaincy decisions now for the Army, really, to see how they've got that breakthrough, but they could really do with another wicket, and pretty sharpish.
It looks like they're going to bring Jake Benson on. Now, normally Benson would open the bowling. He's opened the bowling all season for the Army, but he's coming on in the 9th over. Maybe a little bit of a change of plan. He opened the bowling with the two seamers of Gabriel and George, and then brought Did and then Narayan on. So Benson's the third spinner in the side. Maybe I just fancy a little bit of Denzel James possibly to keep a little bit of pace on, but we'll see how Jake goes. Got smashed around a bit in the first game today, so hopefully he'll perform better in this one.
So comes in then over the wickets, and that moved a bit there, didn't it? I think. And Benson, who is from Lincolnshire, based with 47 Regiment Royal Artillery. Bowls again, and it's given the treatment.
That short boundary is so tempting, isn't it?
It is. If it connected with that, it would have probably gone right over the stand. Bowls again. This time he drives it out into the covers area, and it's going to be retrieved by the Army. Oh, there's a bit of a mix-up here at the back. Oh, and he's just about got in, I think. I don't think that's going to be a run-out, but almost disaster there for the Royal Navy there. And that would have been, McLennan would have been gone there. There was obviously the call came through. It was only went one way, didn't it?
There was no misfield either, so it was very surprising that he even considered coming back for a second there. Gabriel, Shevin George out there with a super arm, and I think they probably knew that too.
And Benson's gone to round the wicket now, and so rather to over the wicket, I beg your pardon. Comes in again. This time, once again, it's McLennan, just Johnson trying to get that one away, but he can't. And it's been a good over so far.
Just needs to come out of it without too much damage now.
Bells again, the reverse sweep shot, and they'll get the single from that. But that was a good over there from Benson, Jake Benson. Just a couple from the over, so 58 for 1 after 9 overs. And the Navy will just feel they might need just to increase the run rate a bit here.
Most definitely, they've come a little bit stuck since the end of the power play. Really, what were they, 46 at the power play?
Yeah, 40 they just lost their first wicket, hadn't they?
42. That's
42.
Right, 42. So they've scored 18 in the last 3. So it's run a ball for sure, yes, but. You really do want to push hard and get the game well out of Army's reach.
So Narayan again, and Johnson trying to go for it. They've been bogged down here. This is good bowling from the Army.
It was also a poor shot from Johnson.
It was, by his standards.
Very much so.
The left-hander. Experienced Narayan then comes in again. Johnson does get hold of it this time, but they're only going to get a single. Fielded in the deep there by George.
Really good spell this from the Army. Really, really good spell. Keeping them tied down, and they're going to have to start taking some risks fairly soon.
They won't mind necessarily not getting the wickets, but if they can keep them bogged down, as they certainly are. This is another excellent over, which has so far only yielded 1 run.
You fancy lessons learned in a space of about an hour and a half.
Again, Ryan just keeping the Navy under control here. And you would imagine that either McLennan or Johnson might just start to get a little bit ruffled if they can't get this ball away. Well, he does this time, doesn't he? That's going to again yield another single. And that is the 5th ball of the over, so just one more delivery left in this 10th over, and we're getting towards halfway stage in this Navy innings here in the Inter-Services T20. Ryan bowls, that's going to go for 4 runs. That's a lovely shot there from McLennan. He got there in the end, didn't he?
He did indeed.
The timing
yes,
was perfect.
Absolutely, it was there to be hit. It was Johnson who hit that. It was there to be hit, and they just wanted to. They just almost wanted to break the shackles with something to bring up the halfway point of the innings at 64 for 1. 64 for 1 is obviously better than getting stuck on 59 or something like that. So yeah, a good shot from Johnson to finish the over.
Yes, so halfway through then, as you say, Richard, this Royal Navy innings here, on the verge possibly of winning their 2nd Inter-Services title in 3 years. And it will be unusual for the Army to have gone for so long without a title. Of course, that's the way it pans out. But the statisticians, you amongst them, will start getting quite interested, I'd imagine, at the end of this Navy innings to see what the Army have got to do to decide which way this season's title is going to go.
Well, that is going to be my task at the interval, is to work out exactly what the Army need to do to overhaul. It will be the RAF's record. And obviously, if they do win in good time, they will knock the Navy out of the race. But the other thing is, all the Navy need to do is win the game.
Exactly. You say all they need to do. Easier said than done sometimes, isn't it? Reverse sweep shots, and that's going to go through. Is it going to go through to the foot boundary? No, it is stopped in the end. It was the reverse sweep again from McLennan there. Just gets a couple of runs out of that, taking the Navy to 66 for 1.
But of course, the other factor is that I'll also need to work out what the Navy also need to do to shot.
That is a fantastic shot. It's gone for 4 in the end. Brilliantly hit by McLennan.
I need to work out what the Navy need to do to keep their head above water should they lose as well.
Yeah, exactly. That would be mouth-watering if we had this situation where it could all be decided literally by a few deliveries or a few extra runs here and there.
Well, there's been a couple of extra runs there. There was a no ball and a wide, which is criminal from a spinner. Spinners shouldn't be bowling no balls.
Oh, he's been made to pay for that again. Another single onto the total for Johnson, for McLennan rather, taking him to 15. Navy creeping their total up now to 75 for 1. The end of this, the last ball of this 11th over. Place it out onto the mid offside, and end of the over. Royal Navy 76 for 1 here. If you're just joining us, we're live here on our Forces News YouTube channel and on BFBS all around the world today, and wherever you are, you're more than welcome. We hope you've been enjoying some fantastic cricket here in the most glorious conditions that we could ever have imagined and hoped for. I must admit, when I saw the date announced for this year's T20, I thought, oh no, not the 3rd week in April, because you get a lot of showers and things like that in April. But today the weather has absolutely been smiling on us here in central London, and that's a lovely shot straight down the ground. It's kept away from the boundary. They'll come back for the runs. It's 2. They get out of that in the end. I think that McLennan thought that was going straight down to the boundary at the pavilion end for a 4. But in the end, good fielding by the Army. Ryan again. That's going to go for 4 runs. He's not going to stop that. Beautiful shot from Johnson. That takes him to 44, approaching his 50 again. This could be another crucial innings from Ben Johnson.
Beautiful shot. Beautiful shot off the back foot for Johnson there. He was played it perfectly. He's obviously faced against Denson Narayan a lot, and that was just perfectly positioned.
Good delivery then from Narayan to bring him back into it. Certainly getting through their overs quickly are the Army here. As the shadows start to fall across the beautiful lush green turf here in St John's Wood.
It really has been the most magnificent day here. Like you say, April, you just never know what you're going to get. The earliest ever inter-services of any variety.
Well, traditionally the culmination of a Forces cricket season, but this year really it is the just the beginning of it. But what a way to start! What a way to get this 2026 Forces cricket season underway than the T20 here at the home of the game. Johnson trying to force that one away, but it's a good delivery then from Narayan again, and he ends his over on 0 for 19. The Navy have pushed their total now onto 83 for 1, with Johnson 45 and McLennan on 15.
I think Narayan gave that one a little bit more zip, that last delivery, just to make sure that he didn't get away. So good bowling from Narayan. Dearden back again.
Yeah, Ross is back on again. He's been pretty frugal so far, and he's given 12 runs away in his 3 overs so far. So obviously just trying to keep them down, pegged down with the spin attack. Good, excellent fielding there from Ringrose in the field. That was a really good innings actually from Ben Ringrose, wasn't it, against the RAF? It kept them in the hunt for a while, just when everything seemed to be slipping away from them. Ben Ringrose there doing well with the ball in hand in the field.
He's another player with huge potential for the Army.
Dearden bowls again. It's pushed away by Johnson. He moves his score on to 46, and that Royal Navy total pushing its way up now to 85. That's surely a wide, and again unforgivable really, to be giving away a wide like that. But another onto the total, and another delivery as well.
Just well bowled that.
Yeah. It says a lot for the quality of a bowler if they can make a mistake and then literally produce another one. That's excellent. Well, he thrashed away at that, looking for the reverse. He's been given. Well, McLennan looked very surprised there, but he has been given LBW, and that's not the first time that has happened today, where a batter going for the reverse sweep gets caught with an LBW. So a really important wicket there for Dearden has taken McLennan, and he's gone for 16. So the Royal Navy 86 for 2 now.
And that's Johnston out. That's Johnston out for 46.
It is.
It's Johnson out for 46, and that's a massive wicket for the Army. Again, player trying to play the reverse sweep to the short boundary, and has been trapped in front. Ben Hood took a while to think about it. Johnson was disappointed as he stood there and saw the finger of fate raised. But that's a massive breakthrough for the Army, and Johnson goes to 46.
Yeah, my mistake there. Yeah, Ben Johnson is the man who's gone, and well, it's as they say, a really important wicket there for the Army to keep them in the hunt here. 86 now for 2. So the man who's coming to replace him is Ed Butler, Royal Marine. And straight away he is in the runs, just gets the single.
And now it's going to be interesting to see how McLennan goes, because he's now the senior partner.
Yep.
And he is going to need to be the one who pushes the buttons now.
He certainly is. But this is, again, good tight bowling from the Army. Dearden's done well there. Just 1 for 16 from 4 overs so far. And that's the end of the 13th over. Just 7 overs to go. The Navy being pegged back here.
The big question now is 7 overs to go, 8 wickets in hand. Do you press G for gamble and go and try and, you've got men in the hutch still, you've got wickets to play with. Do you try and go hard now, or do you hold on and maybe hold the wickets for later? Difficult decision, this one.
It is. Well, Jake Benson is now back on, bowling from the pavilion end. And the new batsman facing him is Butler, North Devon man. 2 years in the Royal Marines, so based at Bovington. And he just pokes that one away. No run. Just again, forward defensive. This will all suit the Army, of course, just keeping the runs down. Good tight bowling. This time he goes for it. This is an appeal come from behind the stumps, as you might expect from Sam Blackburn, but falls on deaf ears.
Yeah, just didn't fancy that one. Didn't fancy that one at all.
Again, Butler unable to get that one clear. 87 for 2. Moves his feet, goes down the field. Just a single. Benson in again. Again, they'll just get the single. Just not getting the ball away. There's McLennan then, but they'll be grateful for any runs they can get at the end of the 14th over. Score moves on to 89 for 2.
Didn't G for gamble there in that over. So
no.
I think in many ways, I think they're looking for, if they can get 150 from here, that would be quite some achievement. 60 in the last 6 overs would be some achievement, but I can't see it. I can't see it in the way they're playing and the way that the Army are holding them down. I think 140 may be on the cards.
Well, their first target is obviously to get to the 100, isn't it? And the way the Army are bowling at the moment is Dearden again comes in. Misfield. So they're going to get a couple there. They're going to go for that second run and get it quite comfortably in the end. McLennan moves his total on to 18. The Navy roll their total on now to 91 for 2. Dearden, who got that really important wicket in his last over. Again, he's bowling a great line and length. Difficult for the Navy to get it away, isn't it?
Very much so. But if the Army do lose this, I think they'll be going back to fielding school when they go back to training, because some of their fielding today has been really poor. Catching and outfielding has kind of let them down a little bit. So if they do come up short in the tournament or in this match, or certainly in the last match, that's certainly where they're going to point the finger.
McLennan going for that reverse sweep again, which has already cost a couple of wickets. This time just sprays it. No run. Now that's crept its way through. It's going to roll down. It will be collected before it can get anywhere near the boundary. We'll take the byes from that. And The last ball of Dearden's over to come, and just a couple of runs so far from it. 92 for 2. Opens his shoulders. That's a great shot, and it's going to be collected on that cover boundary there. Well done for the Army again. They've bowled really well. Just again a couple, and they're not getting the boundaries away, are they? At all?
Absolutely not. 94 for 2 off 15. Really not going hard here. One or two big shots, but not finding the boundary. The spinners have done the duty here. I can't see the bowling figures at the moment, so I'm not sure how many more overs there are of spin left, but I'm presuming that George and Gabriel have both got 2 to come. So maybe there's just one more over of spin left, which is this one from Narayan, and then it's back to the seamers. So it'd be interesting to see what happens now.
Yeah, that suggested total of yours 150 is just beginning to look a little bit possibly out of reach, but this game can change so quickly, can't it? And but these batsmen are going to have to start making some crucial decisions, because they've got wickets in hand. So what are they going to do here? Here we go. It's another very good delivery from Narayan. Just 19 runs conceded so far, but he's still looking for his first wicket. And McClendon opens his shoulders there. Again, it's forced away, but no boundary. McClendon moves on to 19. The total moves on to 95, but it's Ryan again, a good delivery. Let's see, he picks it up. No run, another dot ball.
Going nowhere fast here, the Navy.
Yeah, and this is all down to really good bowling from the Army. But as you say, Richard, are they going to run out of spinners? Oh, well, it looked like he would have been stumped there. He's been given stumped. He came out of his crease. Did Butler? He's only made 4. And that is another crucial wicket. 95 now for 3. And it was, again, some great wicket keeping there from Sam Blackburn to get that stumping. Did really, really well. He was a bit unsure, wasn't he, whether he was out, but it was given by the umpire.
I fancy that Blackburn hasn't actually got his gloves on that. I think he's just come off him and hit the stumps, and he's out.
However way it's done, it doesn't matter, does it?
Absolutely.
A wicket is a wicket.
They're all slapping Blackburn on the back, saying well done, but I don't think he had an awful lot to do with it.
Okay, well, I'll be handing over to Simon Hunter very shortly to take us through to the end of this Royal Navy innings. And Richard Saunders is going to join us as well again, I think, and maybe other guests too. I think we've got slightly mixed up on our timings. That's inevitable on a day like this, when the games, you're never quite sure how long they're going to take. But looking forward to getting Simon back and Richard joining us as well again here on commentary today. Great to have your expertise, gentlemen, along with our other guests that have been joining us throughout the day here at Lord's. 95 for 3. The Navy stuck in the 90s at the moment, and finding it difficult. Again, they're looking across. This time it's Finlay Marks who has come in. McLennan still on 19. His role is now going to be absolutely crucial in this match.
Hugely, yeah. I think it's obviously the Marks is no mug with the bat. But he's going to have to get going, and that's 2 dot balls to finish off Narayan's spell. 1 for 20, outstanding. 95 for 3 off 16. And how many runs have they scored in the last 3 overs? It's not many. It's only 5 or 6.
Exactly. So it's everything to play for here. And the RAF getting very excited about this as well. I'm now going to hand over to Simon Hunter again to take us through, certainly for the rest of this Royal Navy innings. It's very, very interestingly poised.
Thank you very much, John. 95 for 3 after 16 in this Royal Navy innings. Final game of this wonderful festival of cricket today at the home of cricket, Lord's Cricket Ground. Bathed in sunshine. It's been very pleasing to see the support in the crowd today. Delighted to welcome back Richard Saunders onto the mic as well. Richard, great to have your company through the day, providing us with great insight, especially with what the umpires have been going through. A long day for all of us, but for them in particular, I think, as well.
Absolutely. And again, thank you very much for inviting me. I've thoroughly enjoyed the day so far, so thank you.
Very interesting game this. 96 for 3. Not be seeing as high a score perhaps as some predicted at the beginning of this innings, but 96 for 3. Some wickets in hand. McLennan, who it was noted earlier, has impressed since his debut on Tuesday. And Stefan Gabriel, 1 for 19 in his spell. And his overs, I should say, today. Decent length, just pushed out into the offside.
Well, we're inside the last 4 overs and they still have 7 wickets in hand, so I think it's time the Navy put the accelerator down if they can.
How have you summed up the wicket today and how it's been playing? We noted earlier on this morning, especially in the women's match, that the ball wasn't quite coming on, and of course the tantalising short boundary as well, Richard. But how have you summed up how the players have gone about their business on that strip?
I think they've performed very well. I mean, we must remember that it's very early in the season. This is extremely early for this tournament, which normally or historically has taken place in May or even in June sometimes. But as one would expect, the wicket looks an absolute picture here at the home of cricket. And I think the players have, well, it's a lot better than wickets I've seen doing various fixtures in April so far, as one would expect. So I think it's played well.
Hopefully down in Wiltshire there's plenty of sunshine this week, as there is up here. I know you're very busy down there with your duties.
Yes, I have 2 games this weekend, both at Bath Cricket Club, right in the city centre. Lovely.
Yeah, beautiful place. The slog sweep comes out just down to long on, and I'll collect another single. And 100 comes up for the Navy. 101 for 3 in the 17th over. What total can they post in this fixture? Of course, they'll want to see the game off and not have to deal with any permutations of net run rates, and perhaps they might let the other sides back into the competition. But what a start it was for them, winning that match against the defending champions by 15 runs on Tuesday. It's allowed them to be able to watch on in the earlier match today between the Army and the RAF. And Marine Finlay Marks, Navy skipper, on Tuesday telling me that he was excited to see how the younger players would fare. Good length from Gabriel and just beating the outside edge. Hint of movement away as well.
One of my colleagues in the pavilion has just picked me up for something. He says it's a pitch, not a wicket, which he's quite right. So
absolutely. And another swing and a miss. Gabriel just shading it away from that outside edge. And the end of the over, 101 for 3, the Royal Navy.
And just going back to the pitch, that didn't carry through very high, did it? So there's a little bit of low bounce there, I think, as well.
Well, we were talking earlier about how over the years, I think it's a little bit of perhaps a misconception that if you play in April and May, you're definitely going to be in the game as a seamer, you know, ball nipping around on green wickets and green pitches. But actually what we've seen in the county championship, I suppose, Richard, over the last few years is just how batsmen have been making hay, because the ball hasn't really been coming on too much. The gremlins, if they're there at all, you know, aren't really troubling batsmen, because the ball's just not, you know, it's not beating the edge with any pace. Benson on and a reverse, and it's just gone over the head of Stefan Gabriel and into the boundary boards. Another boundary for the Royal Navy. Nice bit of innovation there to access that shorter boundary.
Yes, been a lot of reverse sweeps and stepping across the stumps to try and access that short boundary this afternoon.
Here he goes again, and Gabriel this time with an easier task. And they stopped the second run, just a single.
So if the Army are victorious in this match, then it's going to be the statisticians such as Richard Isaacs who's going to have to sit down and work things out.
Yes, he was speaking to us on air a little while ago, talking about some of the permutations. He's still calculating some net run rates, but effectively said that the Army have to win, and of course win extremely well here. He gave the example of the Royal Navy scoring 150 and the Army needing to knock it off in fewer than 14 overs. So quite a strong chase from them required.
Yes, and to achieve a target like that, they have to make best use of the first 6 over power play.
Sweep comes in, and out it comes on the bounce to the fielder on that deeper side. Power play critically important as always, but today we saw the Army just getting a little stuck. 29 for 2 in their power play against the RAF. So they'll be keen not for a repeat of that as the ball trickles over the rope again, and once again a reverse coming through.
I'm just looking out there now. This has got to be one of the, if not the best view in cricket, don't you think?
I think so. I think you would have many agreeing with you all over the world. It's interesting the effect it has, isn't it, on touring players. You see a test match and touring sides having a decent record, visiting sides against England here, picking their game up, and Finlay Mark's not quite getting that away, coming off the pad and eventually safe, but he picks up a run. It's where everyone wants to be, isn't it?
It certainly is. I mean, it's an absolute privilege as an amateur cricketer, either player or umpire, to be able to step onto this hallowed ground, have that privilege. It's amazing. I mean, very few people have that privilege outside the professional world, so it's wonderful.
18 overs gone, 113 for 3. Noah McLennan on 27 and Finlay Marks, the skipper, on 7. Gabriel to return, none for 24, his figures so far. Squirted away through backward point. 3 fielders in pursuit. He'll come back comfortably for a second. Will he try the third? Stay with a couple.
It'll be interesting to see whether the Army changes its batting order for their innings, to see if maybe send a few big hitters in earlier, see if they can take advantage of the power play.
Short of a length and played out towards that fielder around gully. And pick up another couple. Are you seeing more of that as an umpire, Richards? More teams trying to innovate with their orders?
Absolutely. When it comes to the T20, we come across the same team. Well, we have the West of England Premier League, Prem 1, which is 50 overs a side, but then they also have the Whipple T20. Same teams compete, and they change the batting order. I mean, they have guys, quite a few pros playing in that league.
Looking to ramp that, and it goes down to the fine leg boundary. And that's another 4 for the Royal Navy.
And yes, certainly the captains will ring the changes to make sure they've got their big hitters up front to take advantage of the fact that only 2 fielders can be outside the 30-yard ring for the first 6 overs.
It's amazing how much the T20 the game has grown, interestingly, at grassroots level, and also in terms of the county game, because when it came in 2003, many thought it would just be a bit of a crash bang wallop exercise, but there's a lot of science that goes into it, isn't there? A lot of mathematics and a lot of strategizing, those matchups they talk about.
Yes, but there is still some crash bang wallops, and this year the ECB has started to record nationwide the near misses umpires have with the ball either coming off the bat or being thrown in with the fielder, because I certainly stand a little bit further back in a T20 to give myself a little bit more reaction time when these chaps are hitting the ball so hard, because the speed of the ball off the modern day bats is massive, and I've been hit once on my head and woken up in hospital, and I no wish to repeat that experience.
I'm sure not. Signalled wide. Well, we're seeing more and more with umpires in franchise leagues wearing certain protection, certainly for the forearms and things like that.
Yeah, and then there's talk of having a trial wearing helmets in the West of England Premier League as well.
How would you feel about that?
Depends on the size of the helmet. You've still got to be mobile.
Don't want to be top heavy after all. Swing and a miss.
No, I wouldn't be wearing something like a motorcycle helmet, but well, we'll see. The umpires have to volunteer for the trial, so I'm still thinking about it.
Yes, bit of time to think about it. You don't want to impact your peripheral vision, of course, as an umpire at all, so it would have to be something, I'm sure, that's not only lightweight but also gives you the proper field of vision.
Absolutely.
Looking to ramp that again and get it down towards fine leg. Beats the fielder, goes over the rope. Another 4 to Noah McLennan.
And just to finish off that little chat about the helmets, the next step that the umpires are thinking is that if they get us to wear helmets, the next step will be to put GoPros on them, so they can review proceedings out in the middle.
You see referees in rugby do it. It's always interesting to get that camera angle when a scrum is engaging. It'll be interesting to see referee cams and umpires in cricket then taking those forward. Trying to flick that off his legs. Ball squirting off the pad. It's interesting when you see a batsman wearing a GoPro or a camera fixed to their helmet. I love seeing the real-time replay of the speed of the ball coming down from the likes of Jofra Archer or someone in the Big Bash. Being crunched just to extra cover. A run at the end of that over. 130, I beg your pardon, for 3. The Royal Navy. Noah McLennan and 31. And the skipper, Finlay Marks, 16.
So 6 balls to go.
It's interesting, isn't it? The talk of setting a target and what's a power score, what's a testing score. And certainly on Tuesday when the Royal Navy set the Royal Air Force a target of 153, and it proved too much. I think at the halfway stage they'd been hoping for some more if Ben Johnson had been able to carry on and perhaps get to his century. So here, 20 adrift, of course, of 150 mark.
Yes, I think the Navy will definitely consider this to be below par.
If below par and the Army end up on the winning side here, and of course the permutations and the mathematics might have to come into play. Just evading the keeper. Did you get a tickle on that? Well, he's marching off Noah McLennan. Another wicket falling. Timely for the Army, just pegging back that Navy momentum. 130 for 4. Umpires just having a bit of a conference. What sort of thing will they be talking about at the moment, Richard?
I don't know, to be quite honest. At this stage of the game, what could there be to talk about? Maybe Ben's lost one of his counters, I don't know, and just checking how many balls to go.
It's punched out into the offside, and Hill takes a single off the mark first ball. Gets Finlay Marks back on strike for the remainder of the innings. 4 balls to go. Full toss and hoisted high into the air, bisecting those 2 fielders. Has it gone all the way? Waiting for the umpire signal. It is indeed a 6. Boosting that score, Finlay Marks. Well-timed pull shot to the longer side of the ground today. Trying to play that into the offside, just picking up a single. Rather annoyed with himself, Finlay Marks. You can see his body language. Just slamming his pad with his bat there.
Yeah, he was hoping to penetrate to the short boundary that time, but found a fielder, often the case. You can see from the way they're moving their bodies, they are targeting that.
Missed opportunity, you feel there. Shevin George just looking to take that ball, but bouncing through his hands. He's hurt himself as well.
Yeah, let's see if he does it for the final. Is it the final ball? Yeah.
1 ball remaining.
Let's see if he steps towards leg to give himself room to try and target that close offside boundary. No, he went the other way.
Here it comes. And the Royal Navy finished their innings on 143 for 4. Will that be enough? Army chase coming up very soon indeed. Kath Brazier is boundary side with the Royal Navy.
I'm joined by Josh Betley of Royal Navy Cricket, and my first question to you is a hard one. Is that enough from the Navy?
Well, as the day's gone on, the scores have got progressively lower, so I'm backing the Navy. I like to think we're going to win.
Yeah, and you had a win against the defending champions, the RAF, on Tuesday, and from their point of view, it was a very good win, a very deserving win. So what the Navy need to do is just win this one. Can you defend that total?
Our win the other day was off the back of an excellent bowling performance. I'm going to back the lads to do the same again. Come on, the Navy.
It would be interesting, wouldn't it, though, if it went to a 3-way tie and then all net run rate comes in. I know you probably know that better than me, but do you know roughly, basically, ideally the Navy need to win, but do you know what the Army roughly need to get themselves in the mix?
So they need to chase it pretty quickly if they want to win. So I'm hoping that's going to play into our hands. Bring the trophy home for the Navy.
OK, Josh, answering all the difficult questions for you. Quickly back to Cy Hunter. I'm going to go and find the Army.
So 144 the target for the Army to beat the Royal Navy in the final game of this Festival of Cricket today, the IS T20 at Lord's. And Richard Saunders alongside me. The Army, one imagines, would be fairly happy with that restriction on the Navy score.
I would think so, yes. I think they will see that as an achievable target, most definitely.
Especially with the shorter hit to one side. And they'll have had the benefit, of course, of having played that match earlier, and perhaps some of their batsmen feeling like their wheels have been oiled a little more, so to speak. But as the shadows lengthen on this storied ground, what a final innings we have in store. The Royal Navy hoping to restrict the Army, win this game, and thus win the competition. If the British Army are able to beat them, we'll have to see what happens there. But Kath Brazier, once again, is pitch side, this time in front of the pavilion with the Army.
Thanks, yeah, we're with Jake Benson from the Army, who's just counting me in very helpfully. That's not a very high score from the Navy, but they do need to beat you just to win the inter-services. What can the Army do to stop that happening?
Well, we're actually waiting to find out how many overs we need to chase these in. After a poorer performance earlier, that was a lot better from us. So I'd say that we're feeling very confident, providing that we have a decent amount of time to chase this, that we can take the trophy home.
Yeah, so the 188 from the RAF is kind of out of reach in a way, but you reckon that in enough overs you can get the Navy done?
Yeah, I mean, you need to be an expert to work out net run rate. I'm no expert, but I think if we had like 14, 15 overs to chase it, then we'd back ourselves to do that.
Will you change the lineup in any way if you need to get your big hitters out early? Is that something you can do?
Potentially, yeah. I mean, I've been asking to open the batting all for the last 2 weeks, but still, everyone else has had a chance but me. But yeah, I think we'll probably look to do something with the left hand, right hand, I would imagine, to target the short boundary at all times. Brilliant.
Thank you very much, Jake. Fresh from the Army camp, let's see what they can do in this final innings of Inter-Services 2020 cricket. Back to Si.
Well, just moments away from seeing the British Army's response. 144 the target. A little bit of a fresh breeze outside. Shadows lengthening on the ground. The groundsmen out doing their work. Carl McDermott and his team. And what a picture. Quite a few have been in the pavilion today, the grandstand as well. And seeing quite a few outs and abouts around the nursery ground. And as the Army openers prepare to come out, we can reflect on what's been a fantastic festival of cricket. There's been that sort of atmosphere, I think, helped, of course, by the sunshine. And people of all ages here, all different walks of life, here to enjoy the cricket, which is absolutely what the organisers of this tournament will have been hoping for. And are we in for an interesting finish with net run rates and the like, Richard? Or do you think the Navy will have this? Well, it's a brave man who's going to call it at this stage.
I think so, yeah. And as far as the attendance, it's a shame that there's a tube strike today, because I think that's probably impacted the number of people that have got to the ground.
Yeah, those that have been able to make it have certainly got their money's worth and have enjoyed what they've seen so far. And there seems to be, I think, a good spirit, a good atmosphere out there as well. And certainly among the players, we've seen that good spirit.
Yes, I mean, there's always a good spirit. I mean, they really are... okay, 3 separate services, but they get on extremely well. They play hard, very competitive, but they play the game in the right spirit, which is what I've always enjoyed. Umpiring in military cricket. They are very competitive, but off the field, we're all one happy family. Sounds cute, but it's true.
And that's something I'm sure as well as an umpire you're keen to promote in any game that you're officiating in. Keen to ensure that the players are playing it in the right fashion and ensure that they're out there engaging in the way that this wonderful game is meant to be engaged with.
Absolutely. We do this. We play cricket, we play it and we officiate it because we have a love for the game. We go out there to enjoy it. And if people don't play it in the right spirit, it gets testy and unenjoyable. So what is the point of playing the game in that way, or playing the game other in the way we're meant to, spirit of cricket?
It's interesting over the last couple of years. I think good for the tournament as well if we have a new winner this year, and defending champions haven't been able to retain their title, Royal Air Force. They may still, of course, do it depending on what happens here, but I think the Royal Navy will be hoping to get back to winning ways, and I think there was a quiet confidence at the start of today among the Navy crew that we spoke to at the nursery ground.
I think so. I think they see this as their best opportunity of recent years to walk away with the IS T20 total trophy. So I think we've got a very interesting innings to close with.
It seems like a very strong squad they have at the moment. And speaking to Jay Boynton earlier on of Army folklore and having played 20 plus years for the Red Shirts, he was saying just how tight a competition this is, and how also I think the Navy were impressive on Tuesday in that first game, staking their claim for this title. And well, if this game goes the distance, then around about 7:30 UK time, we're expecting a trophy lift and presentation and an opportunity for the players once again to soak in just how special this occasion is, and the magnitude really of military cricket, which is growing year on year.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, sport, the opportunity to play sport, is a huge part of the recruitment campaign in all three services, and the opportunity to come to the mecca of cricket and play is just, and like with the rugby, playing at Twickenham, various places, it's just wonderful that the professional world invite us in and accept us and allow us to use these wonderful facilities.
There's so much focus, of course, on the players and those who are able to come and watch in attendance, the fans, the friends, the family, but also the officials. Very special for the officials.
It is. I mean, I can remember 2017 was the first time I umpired in the T20 competition here, and walking down those steps from the pavilion and onto this hallowed ground, hairs on the back of their neck were stood up. I tell you, it was a very special day. Days
you'll never forget. Well, as we just wait for the players to come out of the pavilion, it's going to be absolutely fascinating to see how the Royal Navy open up here.
There's one other thing that sticks in my mind from that first year that I did it, is that normally ground weather and light is the umpire's call decision, but I can remember talking to the groundsman here, and he says, you'll know when to come off umps, because as soon as the hover cover starts up, that's your cue.
Such is the modern way. Yeah, the horrid sound of the hover cover coming on, of course, with the impending rain about, but no such weather this evening, thank goodness.
No, it's been glorious, hasn't it? I mean, I was sat out in the sun earlier, and it could have been a midsummer day. It's nice and warm.
It had that atmosphere about it, we were saying earlier, right around the ground. And what a fantastic spectacle, what a fantastic advert for the competition, which organisers year on year are saying, especially recently, that this is more than just about the competition. This is about a festival and enjoyment of the game, and that's just wonderful. So the Navy going through their preparations, their warm-ups, their fielding drills in the sunshine. And the Army getting ready in their makeshift dugouts as the Allen stand is being renovated. Some benches on just beyond the boundary rope in the outfield. The groundsmen doing their final preparations, making sure the creases are nicely painted.
Yeah, refreshing the 17-inch wide guideline, which are very important to the umpires. Also, a very important mark on the pitch for the umpires is the 5-foot marking. 5 foot in front of the popping crease, which signifies the start of the protected area, a foot either side of the middle stump.
Got to get all those guidelines very clear, and for the players as well, of course. Flags blowing gently in the breeze by the pavilion. Birds flying gently by as well. Very gentle feel to the evening. And the Royal Navy get ready to take the field. Finlay Marks leading them beyond the boundary rope. Out they come. An opportunity to make their own history. Into the huddle they go. Of course, reminiscent of the days Michael Vaughan and his Ashes winning side in 2005 formed those huddles. I think since then it's become even more popular. The umpires make their way out to the middle, inevitably followed soon by the Army batsmen.
Yes, the two umpires are Dave Richards of the Royal Air Force and Ben Hood, Warrant Officer Class 1 Ben Hood of the Army.
They make their way out there onto the square, and at the start of this British Army innings, it's time for me to hand over to Mr. John Nyson once again.
Thank you very much indeed, Simon. And I think it's fair to say that it was a very good end to the Navy innings there, because at one stage they were really bogged down, weren't they, in the sort of the middle of their innings there, and we wondered whether they were going to make 120, but 143 is a total to defend, isn't it, Richard?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, they have a total to defend, but again, I think they'll probably consider it to be slightly under par. But the proof of the pudding is in the eating. We will find out whether it was enough or not in about an hour and 15 minutes.
We will indeed. Liam Fletcher and Denzel James are going to be opening the batting for the Army, and opening the bowling for the Royal Navy will be White, and that's Benedict White, TWE. Benedict White, based at HMS Collingwood, and so he's going to open the bowling here. Interesting, isn't it, that this is the first chance that he has had to have the ball in the whole competition, and it's the last session of today's T20. So he had a very good day down at Arundel on Tuesday in the sunshine, and here he comes in then to open the bowling, and straight away an opening of the shoulders from the Army's batsman James there, and no run, and it's going to be an interesting period here, because the Army, well, there's no pressure at the moment, is there? I mean, this is very much a gettable total here.
Oh, yeah.
In the 20 overs they've got, but they won't want to be hanging around. As comes in again, that's skied in the air, and that is well over the boundary, and what a start for the Army then. A 6 from James there to get the Army's innings underway here. Not hanging around is Denzel James, and that really was a fearsome clobbering, wasn't it?
Absolutely. Nice clean strike through the line. I think they'll be looking to make more of the first 6 overs than they did in the previous game.
Yeah, of course they do have the power play, and it I think they only reached about 24-25, didn't they, from their power play against the RAF. But White comes in then. He was hit for 6 then from his second delivery again, and that's going to be another 6. That's cleared the boundary ropes. So what a start then for James. So 12 off the first 3 deliveries here, which is exactly what the Royal Navy did not want, but for the Army's point of view, in terms of the stats, well, it's making it very interesting.
And that showed the beauty of timing. A little flick off his hip, timed it beautifully, and over the boundary for 6.
So it comes wide again, opening of the shoulders, and that's disappeared for 4. So this is proving a very, very expensive opening period for the Royal Navy here, and this is not what the doctor called for Benedict White, certainly. He's already taken a punishment of 16 from his first 4 deliveries here. Comes in again. Fantastic performance from he's gone again.
Yeah.
And that's gone. It's gone for 6 again. As oh my goodness me, this is extraordinary. Obviously the Army decided, right, we are really going to go for this.
Yeah.
And you can't blame them. But fantastic opening 5 deliveries for the Army here.
I mean, they'll be looking to put this to bed as quickly as they can because of the run rate.
Well, if they maintain this sort of run rate, the title is going to be back in Army hands again. But White has survived that one, but a very, very expensive first over for the Royal Navy then. He's got 1 more delivery to go. 23 for no wicket. Wasn't expecting this, Richard.
No, but the difference on that ball was he kept it up to the bat. The ones that have gone, well, 2 to leg side were a bit short. The one that was a straight 6, the batsman came down.
What's he going to do this time? He's going for it again, and that is...
He's going to be cut off.
It's cut, yeah. So the they just get a couple of runs there. So James, 24 scored off that first over, and I think there must have been a leg by there, because it's 25 for no wicket from the first over. But what a start for the British Army. Amazing for them, and maybe a bit of soul searching going on then for the senior service here in this opening moments of the Army innings.
And we may see a change of bowling from the media end.
Yes, do we call it the media end or the nursery end?
Nursery end, sorry, I do
apologise. That's
I'd forgotten that the nursery ground's behind us. I forgot.
I thought maybe they changed, obviously.
No, you're right. Yeah.
And it is the pavilion end, of course, that he's going to be starting. Oh, we may see a change. I see what you mean for the next over.
Yeah.
Maybe it will be time for something to happen. But it's Walton who's going to open the bowling from the pavilion end then for the Royal Navy. Comes in and very quickly onto it.
What the Navy would like now is for this over to be a maiden, which is a difficult thing to achieve in the power play.
Comes in again. Well, it's not going to be a maiden, so they're going to go for two. It's going to be quick. Oh, and is he out? There's a claim for out. Looking across to the square leg umpire. I think he's got away with it.
Yeah.
But it was a great bit of fielding, wasn't it? Brilliant bit of cricket.
Nice flat throw. I find as an umpire the most difficult decision I have to give is the close run out. As an amateur, we do not have the benefit of the third umpire and slow motion replays. We have to make the decision in real time, and we only see it once.
Yes, it's you can see how awkward that might be, but it's sharp eyes are the answer.
Yeah, and also, unless you're 100% confident that the striker didn't make his ground, the decision is not out.
Well, Fletcher gets his first boundary. Takes him to 6 from Walton, and just 4 deliveries of this second over completed, and already the Army are 31 for no wicket here, chasing 144 to win, and they could not have made a better start to this game. I'm sure there was a bit of severe talking to going on in that Army camp after the defeat to the RF. Good bit of fielding. Almost slipped through there, but he manages. Ben Johnson does manage to get that back. Walton will complete his first over then, the second over of the Navy innings. The Army innings.
Of course, the shadows are now creeping over the pitch.
Yes. James goes for it again, but this time it's the end of the over. So 2 overs completed, 32 for no wicket. And they've started off at a rare old pace, the Army here. Amazing first over there with James getting a huge amount. I think it was, 24th of the first over. So still a very good performance from the Army.
And it looks like we do have a change of bowling by the looks of it.
Yep. And the change has been made, and the fact it is McLennan who's coming on. Noah McLennan is coming on to see if he can stem the tide a little bit. But the perfect 2 overs so far in power play then for the Army. Going for it again, and that's going to sneak through, but I think it will be cut off before it gets to the boundary. And it is recovered, but just a single there. In fact, 2, they got 2 out of that, didn't they? So it moves to 34. McLennan once again comes in. It's in the air. That's safely going for 6.
Yeah.
Well, this is proving a very, very fruitful power play for the Army. Again, a great shot then from Fletcher. Takes him to 16, and already we're not even into the end of the third over yet. The Army are 40 without loss.
It appears they've come out with a completely different mindset to that they had in the first game.
Totally. I mean, they probably felt they had to. You know, they had to go for it, and they know that with the right run rate.
That sneaks through. The fielder at covers let that through, so it's 2 runs.
So this is not the best start for the Navy at all. Not what they needed for Finlay Marks, the captain. He desperately would have wanted a tighter start to this game, but the Army are making use of the power play as McClendon comes in once again and bowls. Flicked away down towards the gully area, and it is back in the hands of the wicket keeper, Simon White. Base with 47 commando.
As you watch, are you aware of the signals that the umpires make between each other?
Well, you don't tend to look at that, do you? If you're watching I'm sure you're watching them very, very closely. What are they kind of telling each other?
Well, whenever there's an extra in the over, they always reconfirm the number of balls to go, and we have separate signals for that. But also, just wait for this ball.
It's another 6. Just flicked off his pads, isn't he? It's a lovely shot again from James. Takes him to 30, and already the Army are on to 49 for no wickets.
Yeah. I mean, one important signal for the standing umpire to receive from the square leg umpire is how far outside the popping crease, if it applies, that the striker is standing, because that will help you with your LBW decisions. How far has the ball got to travel from the point of impact on the pad to the stumps? And then, of course, we always do 2 balls to go, confirm 2 balls to go.
Do you still keep pebbles in your pockets, or are those days gone?
No, those days have gone. No, they have counters now. I personally actually like to use coins. I have a set of coins I use because I like the tactility of the feel of them, the weight. But no, pebbles, stones, no, those days have definitely gone.
Those days have gone. Okay, Richard, thank you. Well, as you can see, 3 overs completed now, and this is a magnificent start for the Army here. 50 without loss, 31 to James, 18 to Fletcher, and they could not have asked for a better start to this innings here. The Navy desperate to get a breakthrough, I think, if they can, certainly to stem the flow. Well, there was a shy at the stumps there, and from Matt Wilson, but it missed, unfortunately, from a Navy point of view. And I'm sure that James was very pleased to see that go wide of the stumps. As Walton comes in again and bowls. And that is gone.
Looks like he's bowled him.
He's got him. So the Navy have got the wicket that they wanted. It was a clean bowl, great ball from Walton. So it is the first of the wickets goes 51 for 1, and the man who has gone for them is Liam Fletcher, has gone, and he has gone for 18. Well, I'm sure that the Navy will be very pleased to see the back of him.
Yeah, that might settle a few nerves if they have them out there after this start. It's always nice to get the first breakthrough.
Yeah, well, it looked like they were unstoppable in those opening moments. So the man who's come in for them now is Lesport. That's Keddy Lesporis from the 27 Regiment, Royal Logistic Corps. He's one of the St Lucia contingent from the British Army team. So he's coming in at number 3. And it'll be interesting to see whether they maintain this sort of hugely positive attitude towards going for it. But that was an important wicket for Walton.
Absolutely. So I think the new striker might see him 1 or 2 balls, get the pace of the wicket, and then keep the momentum up.
Walton comes in and straight away Sporus tries to cut away, but it's no run. Again, he bowls, and again he takes it away into that offside, and it's, well, an overthrow. These are the kind of things that the Navy just don't need. So they've got 2 out of that, which takes them to 53. 53 for 1, and the Sporus off the mark straight away. With Denzel James on 71. So, 2 St Lucia players are at the crease for the British Army now. The Sporus once again to face this 5th delivery from Walton. Goes to change his stance. He'll get the single. And it keeps the Army well up on the run rate here. As you say, Richard, that's absolutely crucial for them at the moment. They can keep this high run rate, and the championship could be theirs.
Absolutely.
I'm sure Richard Isaac is busily somewhere scribbling down his notes to work out how this is going to work out. But a good delivery again from Walton at the end of the over. That is the end of the 4th over, and the tide stemmed just a little bit. Obviously with the wicket, and also it's cut those runs down, cut those boundaries out. But 54 for 1 from 4 overs is something that the Army would have certainly, I think, given their eye teeth for at the start of this game.
Absolutely. And 54 for 1 after 4, we still have 2 overs of the power play left.
Which they will want to make hay while the sun shines, as the shadows deepen over on the far side of Lord's Cricket Ground. So Butler is coming on now for the Navy, Ed Butler. Another change in bowling for them. Right hand bowler, placed at Bollington. Another Royal Marine. This Navy team is full of Marines today. And another attempt at a pace attack at this nursery end. So we know what happened last time when that happened. So not making themselves very popular by scuffing the surface there.
No, the grounds will have them.
But the cuts for Garters. Comes in and bowls. And that is a great delivery. And he played and missed there. Butler getting straight up, pitching the ball up brilliantly. And, well, that's the sort of thing that the Navy captain wants to see. Finlay Marks just giving him a tap, saying that's what I want, that's what I need in this power play. We want to keep these runs down to a minimum. Butler comes in again. And again it's a play and miss from the Sporus.
Those 2 zipped through.
They really did, didn't they? Not seeing very much of that today,
No,
have we?
absolutely. That's just what I was thinking. So why didn't he open?
Well, it's a good question. Here he goes once more. Comes in and bowls. The Sporus this time makes contact, and that is going to go all the way to the boundary for 4. So the
overpitched half volley.
It was overpitched. He didn't get it up enough that time and paid the penalty. So 4 runs goes to Sporus, to Keddy Sporus, and the total moves on to 58 for 1. Butler again. Again, the Sporus plays and misses. And it's 3 good deliveries out of 4 so far.
Message from the stats. Apparently the Army need to chase this down in 14.1 overs in order to win the tournament.
Okay, thank you very much for that hot off-the-press information. So if they can win this in 14.1 overs, the Army will be the Inter-Services T20 Championship champions. Presumably, if they don't, but the Army were to beat the Navy, then it would be the RAF who would claim the title then on points.
I would defer to the stats again, sir.
Although, of course, you've got to take into account that they won by 15 runs, didn't they, in their opening game? So, again, information coming in all the time, but the information you need to know at the moment is we've played now 4.4 overs, nearly up to 5 overs in this game, and if the Army can knock these runs off in 14 overs and 1 ball, they will be the Inter-Services T20 champions. Information coming in, I'm sure courtesy of Richard Isaac, or certainly the stats team anyway, here at Lords, who are, I think they've got their abacuses, their calculators, their smart watches, everything out on this. Butler comes in again, and that's well defended, brilliantly defended by the Navy. Noah McLennan.
There are 2 members of the officiating team, which I haven't mentioned, which perhaps I should. We've talked about those that are on field, but in the background, still valuable parts of the team are the 4th umpire, Chris Randall, who has responsibilities for looking after balls and making sure things off field go smoothly, but also Martin Seward, who is the tournament referee, who is a Royal Air Force Master Air Crewman, who specialises in search and rescue, a tutor and safety expert. And this is his 5th appearance at Lords. He's stood as an umpire on 3 occasions, and this is the 2nd time he's been at Lords as the tournament referee.
I think it's very important that all these people get a mention here today for making things run as smoothly as they do. Is that going to run down to the boundary? No, it is collected by Nathaniel Pinckney, who makes that, stops it from reaching the boundary, and 62 for 1 now. We're into the 6th over of this. Remember, the Army are chasing down a total of 144. They need 143. They need 144 to win, and if they do it in 14.1 overs, they will be the Inter-Services champions.
Yeah, so 144 in 14.1, 145 in 14.2. I've been sent a plethora of statistics.
So that one again, Richard, sorry.
They need to chase it down. 144 in 14.1 overs.
Yeah.
145 in 14.2. We got up to 149 in 14.5 for the Army to win.
Okay.
But I think, yeah, the critical thing is 14.4, 144 and 14.4. The Navy just need to win this match in order to take the trophy.
Yep. And do the RAF come into it? I'm sure the RAF come into it at some point as well. That's being flicked out there.
The information I have here is that if the Army win the game outside of 14.1, so more than 14.1 overs, then the RAF win the tournament.
Yep. So the Navy have got to win this match. So they can't win it on the run rate. That's a push through there by James. Pushes his total on to 35, and the Navy, the Army move on to 66 for 1. Nicely driven by Sporus. With Walton continuing his bowling session. This is in his 3rd over now. 1 for 18 so far. He's taken an all-important, that crucial wicket of Liam Fletcher, who was really flying in that first couple of overs. But he was trapped and bowled by Walton for 18. And so the Army 67 for 1 now.
And I must mention those stats that were provided were courtesy of our king of stats, none other than Richard Isaacs.
Yeah, thank you, Richard. You've never seen someone dash out of a commentary box as quickly as he did.
He knew he had some maths to do.
I mean, he usually enjoys, Simon Hunter's company, okay, but he was away like,
yes.
as quick as you could imagine. It's a great delivery again from Butler there.
Yes, he's always been our very own Bill Frindle, is Richard Isaacs.
Yeah. I can't remember if he has a beard or not. The bearded wonder, Bill Frindle. Butler comes in again.
Ooh.
Again, that was a
Like
such a short pitch, or certainly it caught a bit of a bounce there, didn't it? And almost fooled Les Boris, but he managed to avoid it.
And the umpire signalled one for the over, so he can't bowl another short ball that goes above shoulder height.
That's about the first short pitch delivery I can remember seeing today.
The first one that's gone over shoulder height.
That's another great delivery right down the middle. And this is good stuff from Butler so far. Halfway through this 7th over, 67 for 1. A nice shot from Les Boris. That's going to go for 4. That's not going to be stopped.
No, it's 4.
Beautifully played. Cover drive there. And 71 for 1. Les Boris goes up to 16. James on 35. And a tidy over so far from the Marine, from Ed Butler. But that one found its way through. Comes in once more. His 5th delivery of the over. Again, Les Boris plays it square and straight to good fielding there coming in.
Now the interesting question is, does the Army captain know what his winning target is?
Well, I'm sure messages of some sort are going to be coming out, because I'd imagine that the players who are gathered obviously in front of the pavilion will probably have that information. That's in the air, and it's going to not make the boundary. It's collected there by Benedict White.
Yes, I'm confident they will know, because they've learnt that lesson. The teams have learnt that lesson from previous tournaments when they were not aware. Yeah, you've got to be clever about this thing and then know exactly where you stand in terms of the run rate.
Okay, well, as it stands at the moment, we're halfway through this crucial now. They've now had 7 overs, 14.1 overs. If they hit that total of 144, then they will win. But they've only got 7 overs and 1 ball to do it now. So they're on 73 for 1, and of course the Navy's job really now is to stop that initial target, isn't it, and then go on and win the game. So it's absolutely nip and tuck at the moment, as Hill has come in to replace Walton as the bowler from the pavilion end. Nathan Hill, who made a really useful contribution with the bat right at the end of the Navy innings. That is flicked away. Won't reach the boundary. Well defended again by the Navy. And comes in. But this is a good partnership from James and Les Boris now. And they are well set.
Yeah, I mean, were a wicket to fall, then it stops the momentum, and that would be huge. So these chaps have got to keep the pressure on as far as the run rate, but at the same time not risk losing their wicket.
Hill's leg spin again from 4-2 commando. It's in the air, and is that going to be a catch? No, it isn't. It was a dive forward.
Ben Johnson.
Yeah, Johnson. It was a hopeful dive, I think. That's the best way we can describe it. But again, very difficult. Obviously the sun is not in his face, but it's so hard, isn't it, if you're running towards a ball to try and catch it.
That would have been a hell of a catch. White ball out of the white seats background. So.
Well, James gets away with that one. Or Sporus rather gets away with it. It's a good delivery there from Hill. And it's getting quite exciting in the commentary box here, I think, as Simon has just walked in now, so he'll be taking over very shortly. Again, skied up in the air, and that is going to be taken this time. It's a catch from Noah McLennan down there on the long boundary. He's taken it, and so it is another wicket which falls, and the man who has gone is James, I think, isn't it? Denzel James goes for 40. So 40, now that becomes 77 for 2. And James has gone for 40. It was a great innings from him, but he was caught on the boundary. Again, the good delivery from Nathan Hill. So is the pendulum beginning to swing, Richard, I wonder?
Well, yeah, fall of a wicket changes everything. One ball left of this over. I think we're set up for a very interesting outcome here.
Yeah, Nathan Hill then with the delivery, and 77 for 2 is now the total that the Army have. And the man who has replaced him is Ollie Cross, again, who was pretty handy with the ball earlier on in the Navy innings, and so Cross now, and he will definitely know what is required.
Absolutely, yeah. And very interesting now, they've got a left and right-hander in at the same time, so it means they have the bowlers have to change their lines. Think carefully about that.
And straight away Cross sends Hill for 6 in that short boundary, and which pushes the Army back on track. 83 for 2 now, the 8th over completed here at the Lords, and well, it's I think time for me to hand over to Simon Hunter once more. And Simon, very exciting time, because if the Army can knock these runs off in 14.1 overs, they will be the Inter-Services champions.
Thank you, John. Incredibly exciting finish to this competition, this festival of cricket today. And incredible, really, that the Army are in with a very, very good shot here. As you say, John, 14.1 overs or fewer. If they knock off this total, they will win the competition. The RAF still have strong hopes if the Army win this, but after that 14.1 over mark, and they'll win the competition. Navy still hoping to wrap this up and try and restrict the Army from here, which looks like a fairly tall order. 83 for 2 off 8 overs. A blistering first over, 25 runs scored off it. Denzel James was in scintillating form. But this is the sort of finish we wanted, Richard Saunders.
Absolutely, yeah. Nice and exciting. Now it's interesting, they've got 4 fielders. I'm trying to count. Yeah, 4 fielders on the offside, patrolling that closer in boundary.
Entirely shaded now, that's or almost entirely shaded, that side of the ground. On the offside of Cross, and gets that square drive away just for the single this time. When you're umpiring, Richard, and you've got half the pitch covered in shade and half in sunlight, it takes a bit of adjusting on the eyes, does it?
Yeah. Yes, it does. The different shades, and also as the shadows become longer, you've got, and if they've got close fielders, and you have to be conscious of the close fielders' shadows as well, whether they move or not, etc. No close fielders today, so that's not a concern. But on other days, it might be.
Sporus on 18.
This is wiggly bowling. Haven't seen him for a long time.
Interesting, just pushing that through to the keeper, and Sporos trying to force that with a cut shot, but missing entirely. And Army running hard here to try and get to the keeper, taking it, and I think the Sporos is fine in the end. They've made it back for 2. Welcome back, Adam Gilchrist as well, keenly observing this fascinating finish to today's action.
I couldn't come on air, I was a bit too excited. Suddenly that 50 off the first 3 overs and then 72 off the first 7 overs, game on, and it still is 87 for 2 off just a shade under 9. It will be a remarkable turnaround. There's something in my water that tells me the RAF might yet take the title and kind of spoil the party for both of them who are out there at the moment.
Well, the turnaround, as you say, with the Army having reached 29 for 2 in the power play against the Royal Air Force, and really stodgy batting at the beginning of that innings, to what we're seeing now. And Denzel James teeing off earlier, 25 off the first over. Now 88 for 2 off 9. The British Army.
I can't see the run rate from here, but I guess it's about where it was when they started, more or less. So it's almost to a ball, but not quite. And they've been hitting a few sixes.
Yeah, 9.8 rate coming through.
Look at your mental maths, 9.8. Or have you got that off?
There's a scoreboard over there.
He's got the scoreboard.
I could try and claim it as that catch goes up, and another wicket for the Royal Navy. And Kenny Lesporis going down. Timely, absolutely timely for the Navy to try and peg things back. Perhaps a few afters there as well between Lesporis and the Navy players.
Yeah, he's just turning back and having a word or two. Maybe he felt they over-celebrated or something, but all is fair in love and war in an Army-Navy game, after all.
In the heat of battle.
And he will have one of the umpires watching him as he walks off. That is our task. Just stand there and make sure that we watch the player depart, because they've got to be well behaved until the other side of the boundary.
Both of them watching, actually. They were ganging up there a little bit.
Couldn't miss.
But that sort of thing is extremely rare in services cricket, in my experience. More so outside the services, where it's a bit more feisty. But at Festival of Cricket here, 3 services, they compete hard on the pitch. But as I've said previously, they play the game the way it should be played, which is wonderful.
Yeah, there aren't too many Javed Miandads, are there?
No, thank goodness.
Remembering him, his altercation with, was it Dennis Lilly? Or was it everyone?
Well, and also an English captain had a tete-a-tete with one umpire once, did he not?
Shakur Rana with Mike Gassing.
Yes.
Well remembered.
Yeah, it was one clip that's played many times. I think does the rounds on social media as well.
Oh, straight through.
Sneaking past leg stump.
And the keeper missed it as well.
It's what you call a very late cut.
And 2 runs taken. I'm guessing buys. Didn't see the signal, but
No, I think it came off the edge, bottom edge, was it?
But, okay. Heaved out to mid-wicket. They're attempting 2. Ooh, there's a mix-up.
Mix-up and run out there.
Right. Yeah.
Another wicket for the Royal Navy.
And the pendulum is swinging.
I think it is a bit of lack of communication there. Attempting the second run, and it wasn't really there. And he has to depart, so 90 for 4, little B.
The ebbs and flows of the beautiful game in front of us. And my word, you just sense that momentum shifting, and also the energy in those players as well.
It's interesting, as an umpire stood up, sat here watching it, my eyes are attracted to the umpires. I'm looking for pre-signals, which tells me straight away whether it came off the edge or whether it's going to be a leg bye or a bye or whatever. And yet others are looking at where the ball's going. it's interesting. My eyes automatically, when the ball departs, I look at the umpire and see whether he's got some sort of pre-signal, because that will tell me straight away that it hasn't come off the bat.
He's ahead of us then by a few seconds.
Yeah, absolutely, yes. Esteban Gabriel, the new man, powerful hitter, all-rounder, St. Lucian.
Chopped away, square of the wicket on the offside, single taken. He's playing himself in. There we go.
Like you said earlier.
He'll have to go for it second ball though.
He has
that sort of a day.
He has played himself in now with that one ball.
It's T20 after all. Oof, swing across the line.
He was looking where the ball was going in instead of looking at the ball.
It's beginning to look a little bit of an ask, isn't it now? 52 needed from 4.2 overs.
Chipped up in the air. It's going to be a call.
Oh,
just over the head of the fielder.
Just behind square, and it looked like it could be on, but
Army hearts were in mouths there for a split second.
it was over the fingertips. To be fair to the fielder, he had a good go.
Yeah.
It would have been a great catch. The end of another over. 10 overs completed. 94 for 4. Chasing 144 to win this match, the Army, but to win the competition, inter-services, they've got to reach 144 in 14.1 overs or fewer.
So 50 runs in 4.1 overs.
Exactly what they did at the beginning. Well, no, in fact, not as hard as what they did at the beginning.
But they only had 2 fielders outside the ring, so...
Good point. There are slightly fewer gaps around the boundary.
All 3 services in with a shout, which is absolutely wonderful. As he reached the climax. Oh, and flicked off his legs. That's very well done, and that's going out to the boundary. Now just be hauled up inside. Will he get a couple? The wicketkeeper's taking it in, and Gabriel dives in just in time.
The throw was a little bit down at the wicketkeeper's feet. It was hard to take, and it didn't look like the second run was there, but they made it.
And he demolished his stumps.
Just what an umpire loves to see.
Yeah. When the players build them, I say, it takes a 3-day course to build those stumps. So, really? You're a natural. Become an umpire.
And repair the big trench where you've also fallen over in the middle of the pitch.
Yeah.
Clean bowled through his legs. Gabriel giving himself room to try and access that shorter boundary. And my word, absolute risk there. And paying the price, trudging off towards the pavilion.
He's bowling a really good line. He's an experienced bowler. And he's bowling a really good line. That one that squirted away behind leg, I'm sure had it wrapped the striker on the pads, there would have been a big appeal. So he's bowling a very tight line.
There's not a lot to work with either with that short boundary and a big hitter facing you, but you're absolutely right. He's keeping it full and just angling in a little bit, perhaps, round about middle and off-ish.
Making the batsman play, that's the important thing. Got to make him play.
You miss, I hit. So Narayan coming to the crease.
Now here's a man who can hit a long ball, so he could make the pendulum swing the other way.
Seems like a day in which we should expect the pendulum to swing a little bit more before the finish again. Four with the very first shot of the day, the very first ball in the UCAF women's match. Georgina Kant, and then out next ball, and it's been that sort of a day the whole way through.
Trying to see the RAF team, see if they're sitting on their hands, edge of the seat, or taking it all in their stride. Can't tell.
Adam Fisher earlier, RAF skipper, saying it's not easy to play that second game and effectively just have to wait and see what happens in the final. it's another wicket for the Royal Navy.
Swipe across the line.
Again, just on off stump, angling in a little bit, and straight through him.
I feel the Navy are tightening their grasp on the trophy with that wicket. Another to fall. And all of a sudden, it's hard to see where the Army are getting their next run.
I guess the run rate was always going to be challenging as long as wickets kept falling. So in that situation, 6 down, you wouldn't think now, still needing that run rate of 10, 11 and over, must be at least that. Yeah. And of course the Army in the process are less likely to win the match at all.
No, I think their mountain has just got a little bit steeper and a little bit taller.
96 for 6 in the 11th over, 10.4 completed. And, well, that mountain, as you say, Richard, almost Everest. It's very, very interesting just how this game has ebbed and flowed. And some more words there as well.
Is this Wiggly's first over? 2 for 7? Are those his
Second
figures?
over.
Second over.
Second over, yeah.
Okay.
Pretty tidy there in this kind of a run chase. 2 for 7 off
1.4.
Yeah, 10 balls.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's leg side and good fielding there to stop it within the circle.
Keep it down to 1 as well.
Yeah. Saved 3 runs there.
Gentlemen, it's all too exciting. I need to bow out just for a moment.
Absolutely fine.
Don't get my drinks order in.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Adam.
Did you say you're taking orders?
Nicely deflected there. Just another single, though.
Yes, you can see the Navy now have got a bit more of a spring in their step as they change the field.
An incredible day it's been. Overcross is still there, though. And while that's the case, the Army will have hope. .46 to win off 9 overs here. The equation for the Army to win the match. If they did so after the 14.1 over mark, then the Royal Air Force will be champions in the tournament.
And information from the tournament referee, it seems the Navy over rate is slightly down. Which means if they're not in a position to start the final over within 1 hour 15, it means they have a reduction of 1 from the maximum permitted outside the ring.
Wide called. And we'll hope for plenty more of those. And they reach the 100, 6 wickets down inside the 12th over. Oh, and that smashed through extra cover, flying out towards the boundary, and timely for the red shirts. Good from Shevin George. Goes to smash it again, and just as far as the fielder on the boundary, and trying to run him out as well, but he gets through for the single.
Yes, apparently the cut-off is 17-17, so if the Navy are not in a position to start the 20th over at 17-17, they're only allowed a maximum of 4 outside the ring, which could be crucial in a close match.
to slog again towards the boundary. 7:17 is that?
17:17, yeah. That's the 1 hour 15. 19:17. I do apologise. Yes.
Well, there's a 7 in there anyway, isn't it? We knew what you mean.
Yeah. I've been retired 5 years. This 24-hour clock.
You don't have your counter in your pocket. That's what it is. Goes for the reverse, and that's going out towards the boundary on that longer side. Another 4 for the Army. Nice from Cross.
Yeah, that's been a productive shot for Mr. Cross today.
So Cross and George coming together in this partnership. 12 overs gone, 111 on a Nelson for 6. And so 33 runs to win for British Army. So 33 runs in 8 overs. 33 runs in 2.1 overs if they're to win outright. If not, and they win beyond that mark, then the Royal Air Force are crowned champions. Hurry that ball through. Beating the pull shot.
You know, I think the striker's looking at the umpire, asking why was that a wide? Did the umpire think it bounced over the top of the stumps? If it's outside, the behind the striker and outside the leg stump, it has to be called a wide.
Certainly a wide.
That one is definitely yes.
Full toss, and he's missed out there. Just making sure he made his ground again as the keeper hurled the ball towards the stumps. Chevin George on debut for the Army. Very full. And up in the block hole, missing out again. Trying to hit that Yorker mark is Wigley. 2 for 10 at this stage.
Yeah, he's an experienced campaigner, as I've said. He knows what he's doing. So he'll make it extremely difficult for them to reach that 144 in 14.1 overs.
Oh, and that's a big strike. Has that got the distance? It has indeed. 6 runs. And a wonderful piece of timing.
Yeah, another bit of commentator's curse as well. I think I'll just be quiet from now on.
Well, leave the mic down. Lovely bit of timing. Chevin George. Tries to go again, this time out towards the fielder. Having to motor around quite hard. Just keeping it in, doing well. Coming back for third. Very, very good running indeed.
It landed like a golf ball on a soft green.
Almost plugged in that outfield. Bold, trying the ramp shot, getting straight through and crashing into the stumps. The Royal Navy players running into the middle to celebrate. And one innovation too many for Cross.
Yeah, and his partner at this end, George, threw his bat in the air. Out of sympathy or disappointment, we will never know.
Certainly it wasn't jubilation, that's for sure.
No, that's true. But here again comes a very experienced campaigner, Ross Dearden. Again, on his day, he can hit a long ball as well.
He'll be looking to use every ounce of his experience. One of those cricketers, Richard, that strikes you as thinking on his feet all the time, Ross Dearden, especially with his bowling.
Yeah, he's a very canny cricketer. He's also built like a tank. I wouldn't like to run into him.
Well, it's just interesting there with some more words exchanged, it seems, between the players as Dearden walks into bat.
Yeah, they know each other so well, so they'll know Ross's scoring areas. They may have been chatting about that, how to try and stifle him.
Goes for the shot, flat 6 into the grandstand. Another big hit. And it's still on for the Army. They need 17 in the next 6 balls to win this outright, this competition. Goes again, launches that high, and the Navy fielders just watch it sail into the stand. Army players all standing up from their bench.
I've mentioned the umpires. There's another part of the officiating team here today that I also mentioned as well, and that is Linda Judd and Paul Stubbs from the UCAF ACO, who are helping out in the scorebox.
And to squirt that out on the offside. And coming back for the second. Flat throw coming in, but it's well run. And the Army 9 away.
Yeah, the scorers are very much part of the officiating team. Work very closely with the umpires, so always worth a mention.
Goes again, another huge shot into the grandstand. And you can hear those Army cheers getting louder and louder and louder. Chevin George, what a debut this is turning out to be for him with the bat.
The pendulum has swung their way again. Yep.
This game has swung one way and the next.
They need 3 runs in 3 balls.
Three runs and 3 balls, and the Army will be crowned champions of this competition. Shapes up to smash that through. As it got through the fielders, it has indeed. The Army are inter-service T20 champions 2026 after a phenomenal chase. What a remarkable game this has been. 145 for 7 in the end. A match that went one way and the other. The pendulum swung so hard. The Navy players absolutely gutted down in their hunches on the outfield. My word, the RAF also in with a shot, but they too have been blown away by this batting performance. What a sensational finish to this Festival of Cricket today. John Knighton.
Well, absolutely unbelievable. I mean, who knew which way that was going? I mean, literally, with just a few, that last over, it was looking very much like it could have been the Navy or the RAF. The Army looked dead on their feet. They lost all those wickets so quickly, 7 wickets down, and yet George comes in there and hits a magnificent 40. That has got to be one of the greatest finishes we've ever seen here at an IST20.
Absolutely. I mean, I do feel sorry for the Navy. I thought it was going to be their year, but all credit to the Army. They paced themselves and they've got over the line, and so congratulations to the Army again.
And of course that means in the last 3 years the Navy, the RAF and now the British Army have won this Inter-Services T20 title.
What a wonderful reflection of the strength across the services, and they maintained their belief. The Army maintained their belief. Chevin George coming in for his first game in that red shirt, and what a game. He'll remember that his entire life.
Well, his name will go into Army folklore with that performance there. I mean, literally after that last over there, I'm still short of things to say because it was unbelievable. Fantastic performance, looking for that short boundary and finding it.
And I bet Jay Boynton has got one of the biggest smiles on his face in the ground at the moment.
Undoubtedly. Undoubtedly. Yeah, what a phenomenal finish. And those who've come to watch today and you joining us on this live stream, my word, it's been entertaining from start to finish. Presentation due to come in just a few moments, scheduled to begin in just a few moments, but as we just watched Stefan Gabriel there running around the outfield, cock a hoop, but going to shake hands nonetheless with their opposite numbers. We saw a bit of maybe perhaps the odd frisson between the players during the game, but they respect each other mightily, and as was said before, they know each other so well too. But my word, military cricket is going through an absolute golden patch.
Wow. It was sensational, and literally, I mean, if you're watching at home or wherever you're watching, it was absolutely on a knife edge. I don't think I've ever remember a championship when all three of these teams could have won it within the space of a couple of overs, because of course the Navy were ploughing through the wickets. They could have won it on the day. If the Army hadn't reached that total within that 14.1 overs, then it would have possibly been the RAF who'd have won it. It's just astonishing, really.
It's what we wish for.
It is. I mean, I've got a huge smile on my face just because of the way it is absolutely finished here today. And you cannot help but think, what brilliant entertainment for everybody.
Beaming from ear to ear, John Nyson and Richard Saunders as well. I know you have to leave us very, very shortly, Richard, but it's been an absolute pleasure having you up with us today and seeing things from that umpiring and officiating perspective too. I mean, my word, not a soul in this amphitheatre of cricket could leave without being totally thrilled.
No, well, I'd just like to say thank you, John. And
it's my pleasure, absolute pleasure to have you alongside us.
Well, and thank you, Simon.
Thank you, Richard, very much.
The pleasure has all been mine. I've had a thoroughly enjoyable day. Your hospitality is wonderful. A pleasure and a delight. So thank you very much indeed.
Well, we look forward to chatting to you soon, Richard, and safe journey home.
Join us again next year, perhaps.
Absolutely.
And also our other guests as well. We've been absolutely spoiled with an embarrassment of riches today, Simon, haven't we? With what we've seen here today.
John, you've been doing this for many, many years. I think it's fair to say, and this must be right up there with the very best.
Oh, fantastic way to end this. Well, it's not the end of the cricket season. It's just the beginning of the cricket season.
It's only April.
It's only April. It feels like a high summer's day today, and it feels like everyone's going to go out and have a good old celebration tonight at the end. But honestly, you could not have asked for a more exciting finish to any sort of cricket match than this.
Well, we're going to go down to Kath Brazier, who's with an absolutely jubilant Army captain.
Well, I'm with the victorious IST20 Army captain, Liam Fletcher. Probably, maybe not something you expected after that first result?
No, definitely not. What can I say? The youngins in the team coming through pulled out the bag today. Absolutely.
How does that feel, bud?
Yeah, unreal. His debut day. What can you say? He just wonders the game.
It's the Army have won here many times before. It's not unusual to see you win, but to win in such a tight tournament where we've got the Navy winning the first game, RAF winning the next one, and then you guys winning this one. I mean, it's what IST20 cricket's all about.
Oh, 100%. It's very good that last few years it's been one-sided usually, or service been out early, but making it go to the wire and the fact of all of it in, you can't ask for that anymore. And being on the winning side of it, very happy guy.
And when you play T20 cricket, that's the kind of circumstances you want, where you can put your big hitters out there to begin with and get them out there and get those runs. Although it did look a bit dodgy when you went about 6 wickets down. You must have been a bit worried then.
Yeah, I can't lie. I was questioning if we're gonna do it or do we change tactic. I was about to run a walk run the over before then, just go right. Let's go for the win, not go for the tournament win. But I'm glad someone pulled me to one side and go, no, we've committed to it now. So honestly, unbelievable from the boys. It's unbelievable.
And just a word for the Navy and the RAF, and effectively everyone's won a game. It's difficult, isn't it? But it does show how tight things are. Yeah. It's like you said there. It shows how competitive the cricket is in this region at the minute, as in services. It shows it's gone down to all services winning a game. It's only credit to them, and we'll have a social with them just as we would if we lost. So it'll be very good. It's just going to taste a bit more sweeter. Yeah, and I imagine, there are UCAF events coming up where you get to play with them, and we know that unites you guys in the cricket fraternity as well. Oh, definitely. It gives us now a few rights now. Bit of winding up, bit of banter going on because we got it for the last couple of years from them, so we'll share the love this time. Excellent. Well done, Fletch. Congratulations. We know you're going to get presentations in a minute. Go and celebrate with your boys. No, thank you very much. Thank you. We'll just quickly put back to side for commentary as we lead up to the presentation. But the Army have won the Inter-Services T20.
Well, what a finish to this festival of cricket. The Army winning in remarkable circumstances with their run rate, chasing down that total of 144 in fewer than 14.1 overs, which they knew was going to be the net run rate they needed to overhaul the tournament. And the Royal Navy absolutely gutted after that victory in Arundel on Tuesday, giving them a good position to go into today. The Royal Air Force were in for a shout as well. And it's what we want, really, with these tournaments. And my word, Lords has seen a remarkable day of cricket, military cricket, in very fine fettle, it must be said, as we await the presentation. And just amazing to see those hugs from the Army Secretary there, Frank Greenwood, and some of the former players. Jay Boynton was up with us earlier, Lieutenant Colonel Ed Sothery as well. And they will be celebrating tonight, no doubt. I think there's a function after this presentation. I'm sure the players will have plenty to say about it with each other as well. In good spirits they were, and wow, it's been an absolute privilege to see how it's all gone. As the groundsmen come on to the end of the middle. But a remarkable day. The sunshine treating all those who've come to Lords and battled their way to St John's Wood amid tube strikes. But nevertheless, a good following, a good crowd. Plenty of members in the pavilion, and plenty of those in the grandstand, and those in the boxes have enjoyed themselves too. A wonderful delight for us, BFBS, to bring you the live action all day on the Forces News YouTube channel. Of course, one final moment to savour that trophy lift very, very shortly indeed. I think everyone will feel they've got their money's worth. Amazing. Seeing the sights of the city as well from this famous ground. What a win for the British Army. UCAF this morning, UCAF women beating MCC by 21 runs to start the day off. Georgina Kant scoring a 4 with her very first delivery and being bowled out the second ball of the match, which I think was a reflection in the end of how the entire day went, before the Royal Air Force then beat the Army by 33 runs. And the Army then defeating the Royal Navy by 3 wickets, as we see some of the players jumping down those steps at Pavilion. Ross Dearden still with his shades on, which is remarkable given the shadows extending right across the outfield. But he'll not care, as those players gather round to just give hugs to each other. Some of the officials as well. Some of the sponsors, they've been delighted with what they've watched. And amazing, it must be said, Chevin George, as it was mentioned earlier, remarkable debut, that fantastic innings of 40, and in the circumstances as well, nailing some of those sixes into the grandstand towards the end of the day. Just when it looked like the Navy were getting a grasp on things again, having taken several wickets, the Army came back. They just believed the entire time, and they came back firing, my word. Jay Boynton, former skipper, announced his retirement last year from this particular format. Will still be lining out in the IS-50s. which will be great to see later in the season. And it is hard to believe it's only April. We've seen so much great military cricket so far. What a night to savour. A night that none of the Army players will ever forget. The players assembling near the presentation desk. Wonderful to see all those who've been in attendance today. Thank you to all our guests as well. It's been a remarkable performance from all the players, and an absolute delight to be joined by so many up here in the commentary box as well. The smiles of Stavan Gabriel being seen there. Always full of energy, that boy. Played his part. Well, we're just about to pass down to Kath Brazier with a very special guest on the Boundary's Edge.
Watch the cricket.
Okay.
My grandfather was in the Navy, so I'm sort of slightly in their camp.
Okay, well, amazingly, we've been joined by Reece Topley, who is, you kind of said you're a little bit in the Navy camp, but it's a win for the Army today. But you've seen some good cricket. Have you enjoyed what you've seen today?
Yeah, absolutely. That was an unbelievable game for anyone that was neutral watching. It went right down to the wire. Obviously, run rate played a part, and it's one of those intricacies of cricket. But it was a terrific game, and it seems like the better team did sort of just finish on top.
We do love IST20 because with those three teams, it's so competitive. Why? Explain to us why you were in the Navy camp, though.
Oh, I went to like a naval school, and also my grandfather was in the Navy. So my dad also went to the same school, so that's what cemented us into that camp, unfortunately today, but no, it was a great day, and it was nice to sort of see some faces and people that I'd seen before and people that I hadn't seen for a very long time as well, so it's nice to get back and see everyone. And
of course, you know how special it is to play at Lord's. Imagine what it's like for them who don't get to do it as regularly as you have done in your career, but loving it every once a year.
No, absolutely, it's a massive privilege. I don't think there's too many sports that sort of let people play on the hallowed turf, but you know, they're incredibly lucky that the MCC allow it. But then also it's a story that people should go on to tell everyone that they know for years to come. And also whenever you have success, you know, that match-winning knock just then, it's incredible, and it's almost, it should live in Army folklore for years to come.
Yeah, exactly. Are you here in recruiting? Like, can you see any players that you could potentially push towards county cricket or anything like that?
As long as the recruiting is going that way and not the other way, no one's recruiting me. I'm pretty happy. But no, there's some terrific players. There's a lot of spin. I remember seeing, so there's a lot of good spinners. But no, it's terrific. Good hitting at the end, and that's obviously T20 game nowadays. No, they're terrific, and it was impressive. It was great to watch.
Great. Thank you so much for talking to us. Reece Topley, England. I'm going to call you an England legend here at Lord's. Throw back to Si.
Cheers.
England star Reece Topley there, who's had many a happy memory here at Lord's, chatting to Kath Brazier, and nice for his involvement as well for the players, of course, to see him standing by the presentation table, just seconds away from that trophy being lifted. And the Army, well, they're in fine spirits, dancing and jumping, and just chatting to some of their former players, some of their backroom staff, some of the sponsors, some of those who make this all happen. Chain of command, of course, as well, here today. It's quite wonderful to see that height differentiation, of course, between Kath and Reece Topley. Just seeing the Navy players as well, taking it all in. It's been difficult for them. Gutted, of course, they are after what happened in that match. High hopes as they came today. Maureen Finlay-Marks, their skipper, the other day, saying that some of the players hadn't been here before, so of course for them, a special day in its own right. But of course, disappointment for the squad as a whole. But who could have predicted that? Who could have seen that coming? A brave person could have predicted that, I think. Even well into that Army innings, the Navy took several wickets at once. And the final seconds of today's action. The players get ready to line up. Just having a look at those medals and the Inter-Services T20 trophy, shining even in the shadows. And the Army players make their way over to the presentation table. What a moment this is going to be for them. Walking over rather slowly, perhaps just to try and savor the moment, the Army players, as we see the trophy there, the cup as well. And very special indeed. Perhaps a moment in which retired Jay Boynton wishes he was still playing. It must be a funny feeling, of course, to be watching on. See the keeper Blackburn and tall spinner Jake Benson making their way over. Dylan Gabriel still smiling after all that. Must be some tired bodies as well. Ross Dearden and Keddy Lasporus with the low fives. Just sampling some of that atmosphere on the boundary edge by the pavilion. All those who have been here now gathered in that general area. One of the most famous pavilions in world sport. The most incredible of arenas in which to make your mark. These players, well, in the days and weeks and months to come, will be able to savour not only the victory but also the part of history that they've played their parts in. The presentation just getting underway now. Those players gathered round. Well, there's a groundsman in the background. Just that funny sort of dichotomy, of course. You've got the players waiting to lift the trophy. The groundsman, as always at the end of a match, getting on with their job and preparing for the next. Already seen a few games here from Middlesex in the county championship this season, and never really a rest for that square until about October time. The players listening intently now to the presentation party. Most of their eyes fixed on that trophy. My word, they've deserved it for the daring part they played. Of course, it must be said, underway by Denzel James at the start of that chase. 25 off the first over. Didn't quite break the back of the chase, of course, but it certainly set the tone for the entire innings. And it gave them the belief that this was something special. 144. Did the Navy feel that was perhaps a little bit under par at the halfway stage? It may have, but nevertheless, still had to be chased down. The Navy full of confidence from Tuesday. Couldn't quite finish the job, unfortunately for them, but fortunately for the Army. Those sixes were very special indeed. And seeing the Royal Air Force here as well, they'll have been watching on intently. They had a big opportunity as well. They could have won had the Army finished this game off a little slower than they actually did. But standing, listening in. Presentation table full of medals and trophies. There's a great reflection of those individual performances. Funny game, of course, cricket as we know and as we love. A team game with plenty of individual performances. And those have come through the day. Multiple Army players have stuck their hands up. And a slow burn, rather, for the Army in some ways today. Taking their time to get going. Being beaten by the RAF. 33 runs as we look at that table. The sun continues to set in this corner of northwest London. Beautiful glow just beyond the pavilion. Spring colours as well. What a way to start the season for these military sides. Some of the officials and backroom staff just being recognised. Still a bit of a breeze out there as well, just some bits of paper flying around the boundary edge, being chased down by Jake Benson. And of course that roll of thanks being rolled out as well. And numerous people who made this day happen. And hopefully those aren't the pieces of paper needed for the presentation itself, because they would be in trouble if so. Great, the last few years is a reflection of how this tournament goes one way and then the other. Navy winning in 24, Royal Air Force last year, and this year it's the turn of the Army. Their first win since 2023. 50 over champions in 24. And the scorers and the umpires getting their medals. Umpires now coming up to collect their medals. The picture tells the tale. Navy players applauding, looking fairly downbeat, of course, as one might expect they would. They've played their part in this tournament. All three teams been in with a shout right up until the last moment today. Of course, there's much more cricket to come this season for military sides. 50 over tournaments later in the summer, midsummer in July. The women's T20 down in, it's been in Arundel for the last few years, in June. That itself had a thrilling finish last summer. Royal Air Force just a couple of balls away from defeating the Army. Amanda Potgieter, star of that UCAF women's win this morning against MCC. Connie Kent, the captain, delighted with that victory. 21 runs. Kant and UCAF women's players enjoying that trophy. They're part at the start of the day. Great to see the spirit that this day has been held in and these matches have been played in. warm applause from both sets of players in each match. It's all happening out there. All teams being recognised. Adam Fisher, Royal Air Force captain. The Army players now one by one going up to receive their commemorative medals. A lovely moment for them. Presented by Rhys Topley, England and Essex star. Lovely moment for them. Cameron Rose, Ross Dearden. And Ryan can play their part. Stefan Gabriel, opening bowler. Jake Benson, pull-off spinner. Kenny Lesporus. Denzel James, what a part he played today. Lusty blows at the start. Ian Fletcher going up,
Get everyone to come in.
accepting the applause and the cheers as well for what he and his side have done today. Players all going up. And lifting that trophy aloft. A wonderful moment, being hoisted high in the air himself as well. And the Army players celebrating, jumping up and down at the end of this festival of cricket, the Inter-Service T20 Men's Champions 2026, the British Army winning for the first time since 2023. It's been great having your company all day with us on the BFBS Forces News live stream. Plenty more live sport coming up, including Army-Navy at Allianz Stadium, Twickenham on the 2nd of May. And check out our website, forcesnews.com, for plenty of behind-the-scenes content, as well as our social media channels. And we look forward to joining you very, very soon indeed. Goodbye.